our lead-in promo.
Yeah.
St. Paul opener. Okay. Well, if you can play it back in our headset, we'll know as soon as it goes off we're on. So, yep, that's fine. Richie's Pharmacy, Vet Health, KW Trucking.
Yep.
Farmers National.
I wrote them down here. Still got an echo. Yep.
It's not as bad. It may just be coming back over your mic. Yes. No, we're home. It's homecoming. Marmaton Valley's here.
Welcome to Miles Field, St. Paul, Kansas, home of your 2017 state runner-up St. Paul Indians.
Let's go.
Yeah, exciting.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask now that you please rise.
Hey,
we're going to do a national anthem now.
Direct your attention to our nation's flag on the southwest corner of the football field. Our national anthem will be performed this evening by the St. Paul Choir under the direction of Mr. Jim Harris.
Okay, we're ready.
Welcome our opponents to the Wildcats of Marmaton Valley High School tonight. This competition is being conducted according to the rules of the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the National Federation
Count us in
of
if you
High
could.
School
I can't hear
Association.
much.
A reminder to fans, as you enjoy tonight's contest, good sportsmanship is expected. Always respect your opponent, as well as the players, coaches, and officials involved in tonight's game. Now get ready for the starting lineups. From Marmaton Valley High School, number 12, Gage Griffin.
Marmaton Valley.
Oh, that's who's left.
That's left.
Caden Elliott. Number 30, a sophomore, William Louder.
Welcome, everybody, to Miles Field in St. Paul, Kansas. Tonight is homecoming for the Indians, where tonight they welcome in Marmaton Valley. Indians come in 4-1 on the season. Their lone loss was their season opener to Sedan. Tonight, second district game for the Indians, as last week they got by a much improved Altoona Midway, third district game tonight. The Indians stand right now 2-0 in district, trying to make their way back to the playoffs this year, Mike. Typical Kansas weather, cold, hot tonight. Happens to be a little bit warmer night.
Yeah, never know what you're going to get. Cool yesterday, hot today, and it's been that way about every week, just back and forth with the weather. Good news is rain yesterday, and it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so we hit in between the rain, so that's good news. Field's in good shape. Everything looks good. I want to say special thanks to Keith Smith for filling in for me last week. I enjoyed listening to you guys on the broadcast, and so we'll be back at it this week and hopefully see a good game here tonight against Marmaton Valley.
Tonight is, as I said, a district game. District format has changed a little bit this year. St. Paul in Division II this year, but the playoff picture has changed as they have went to a 32-team playoff bracket starting in Week 9. So, Mike, I kind of did a little research. This is the way I understand it works. All 6 teams will play in all 6 teams in our district will play in Week 9, but only the top 4 enter the 32-team bracket play. So, for instance, we're in District 1. The number 1 seed in District 1 will play the number 4 seed in District 2, and the number 2 seed in District 1 will play the number 3 seed, and vice versa. They flip-flop around. So that's the way the playoff picture works. The bottom 2 seeds in every district in the state, in this division and every other division, just kind of play a consolation game where they see another opponent from a different district.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you see on the schedule. It's got to be determined on that last game, and that explains why, because you just don't know until the end who you're going to be matched up against.
So the Indians are on their way, it appears, to the playoffs this year. They got to get past Marmaton Valley, and then next week they travel to in-state. Of course, it's in-state, but in-school district rival Chautauqua, and then they finish off at home on senior parent night with a very good Southern Coffee County team.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the Chautauqua game later on, but they're going to have some food down there. We always do in that inter-district rivalry. But tonight against the Wildcats come in here at 1-4. They've lost so far to Sedan, Oswego, West Elk, and Southern Coffee County. Their lone victory over Colony Crest came last week, and so Marmaton Valley be in here with a little fire under them, trying to get themselves into a position where they can make one of those cutoff teams in the playoffs here in the district.
You're listening to the Ritchie's Pharmacy pregame show. Our title sponsor is Farmers Bank. Stick around for our Labette Health halftime show and our KW Trucking postgame show. As we said, light breeze from the south tonight. A little warmer day after, about 1 4/10 inches rain night before last. So the field, there was a junior high game last night, but the field held up real well. No indications of a wet field. It was pretty hot and dry before that, so probably softened the field up a little bit. It looks nice and green. As I know Ken has been working hard on the fields, overseeded it with rye, so it should stay green all fall long. It is a Bermuda field, so here before too long, in a few more weeks, it'll start going dormant, but with the overseeding of rye, it should stay green and nice and thick and lush.
Yeah, and with the homecoming activities this afternoon, I got to watch the Powder Puff football game that they played. The girls got out there and tried their hand at some football, and it was really fun to watch. The maroon team came out ahead of the white team 32-0 this afternoon.
St. Paul has won the toss. They will defer until the second half, so Marmaton Valley will start with the football. Coming off last week at Altoona Midway, a nice victory at Altoona Midway. Ended up pointing them in the third quarter, but that was a tight ball game, Mike. I know you wasn't there, but it was a tight ball game. Just about 3 minutes until halftime, Marmaton Valley was inside the 5-yard line and could have cut it to a one-score game, but they couldn't get it punched in. The Indians then again scored and then took over in the third quarter. But quite honestly, Altoona Midway much improved, but I thought the Indians was pretty sluggish on defense. Probably the worst performance on defense personally that I thought I had seen.
Well, and that's what they're going to have to really watch for tonight. Marmaton Valley, despite their record, does have some good players, especially in the backfield. They got some bigger guys that are going to be tough to tackle, and one of the things St. Paul has, if they haven't really struggled, but they have had some issues with being able to wrap up and bring those guys to the ground, and if they're getting size to them, that makes it that much more difficult.
And then a lot of times in 8-man football, it all becomes about matchups. So we'll see what kind of matchup the Indians have for for Marmaton Valley. Adam Albertini, coming off another great game last week at Altoona Midway, returned a couple punts for a touchdown. I believe one was called back, but he had another great game last week. And, man, I need to talk a little bit about Colin Carlson. He got his thumb stepped on by his own teammate, Easton Dent, ripped his thumbnail off.
Oh.
Mike got her taped up at halftime, played the whole second half, and then he's got her taped up again tonight.
You know
man,
what that means, Dan? That means you're tough when you can do that. Gee whiz.
I tell you what, that would, well, I ain't going to tell you what that we do, but just getting your thumbnail ripped completely off, that had to be awful painful and throbbing. Probably the adrenaline for the game probably got it through that one, but that night I bet you it wasn't a very sleepful night that night.
Got it wrapped up tonight, probably still pretty tender.
As the Indians will kick off to the Wildcats. As we get set to get underway here.
St. Paul's got Morello cooking for him. He's come around and done a pretty good job this year on the kickoffs. Had a few issues a little bit, I think, in the West Elk game where he wasn't getting them down the field, but then he came around and he's been able to get them back close to the end zone, the goal line, giving St. Paul some good defensive field position.
We're 12 minutes on the clock, and we are underway at homecoming here in St. Paul. This ball dribbles towards the sideline, and it is going to go out of bounds. You jinxed him, Mike.
Yep, shouldn't have said anything.
quite honestly, I thought Ivan's done an excellent job kicking this year. After Alejandro Mate, the exchange student last year, it was touchback after touchback, and Murillo had he found his way and really had quite a few touchbacks, but the Marmaton Valley Wildcats are going to back him up 5 yards. You're going to have to back that up there 5 yards. And he's going to have to re-kick as we are still ready and underway as the ball. Marmaton Valley had the option to take the ball where it went out of bounds, but it went out of bounds about the 15-yard line. So really would have been no gain to take it there. So they're going to make the Indians back up 5 yards and re-kick. The ball is teed up again. Looks like number 12 and 21, Griffin. And we'll have a 21 on the roster. That's going to make it fun. If that's really the number. High kick this time. It's going to be taken about the 15-yard line. Right return to the south. It's number 20 on the return for the Wildcats. He's hit hard about the 23-yard line. That is Elliott, Caden Elliott, for the Wildcats. So it's going to be 1st and 10, Wildcats. Ball spotted at their own 21-yard line. Looks like Dent, Carter, Haney, Carlson, Murillo, Bradshaw, Albertini, and Kennedy on the field for the Indians on defense. Marmaton Valley will start in the shotgun with Elliott back there in the shotgun. One receiver split wide to the left. Now goes in motion to the right. Here's the snap. He's going to keep it to the right side. Cuts back towards the middle. Ball's loose. And I think Carlson might have got on that right off the bat. Nope. Somehow.
Boy, I thought he did too. Looked like he fell right on it. Keaton Kennedy.
And they're going to call it Marmaton Valley football, as that ball looked like it was recovered by the Indians, but apparently got away from them, and Marmaton Valley avoid a terrible start. It's a gain of 1, 2nd down and 9, now spotted at the 22. In the shotgun. Number 12 is going to keep it, cuts back up the middle. Number 12 is Griffin. They change quarterbacks. He keeps it. Griffin is going to have a 2 or 3 yard gain. It's going to bring up a big 3rd down, and let's call it 7 for the Wildcats. Ball now spotted just shy of the 25-yard line. 11 minutes left to go, just underway here in the first quarter.
Marmaton Valley got some pretty good size up front, matching up against St. Paul's defensive line.
2 receivers wide to the right, 1 to the left. Elliott is a single in the shotgun. Now motion from right to left. He's back to pass. Looking down the middle, wide open and overthrown. Holy cow, I don't know whose responsibility that was, but we blew that responsibility.
Yep, somebody blew that one.
As Carlson and Albertini are both asking whose responsibility that man was, pointing where he come from. So that's good recognition. At least they know where he came from, but they need to get that cleaned up on defense. Brings up a big 4th down. Looks like Marmaton Valley is going to punt.
St. Paul caught a break there, overthrew him a little bit, but he was wide open for sure.
Elliott back 10 yards deep to receive the snap here. And it's a good snap. Elliott's no rush, gets the punt off. It's taken on the fly at the 20 by Albertini. Starts up the middle, now to the right. 25, 30, 35, 40, cross midfield and caught from behind and wrestled out of bounds, but not until he's to the Marmaton Valley 30-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Indians, first offensive possession for them here on homecoming, Mike.
Yep, fun time here for homecoming. Got a big dance scheduled after the game, so Indians going to get out there, fight for a win, and then go celebrate, hopefully.
We'll let Mike go over all the homecoming queen and king candidates here during the halftime show. And whenever we can slip it in, it is Albertini in the pistol. Keaton Kennedy set to his left. Slot to the left is Carlson. Albertini's going to keep it. It's got some room around the left side. Cuts back up the middle. Farrells follows Haney, and he's going to gain about 3 or 4 yards, it appears. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Indians as the ball is down to the 27-yard line. 10-16 left to go in the first. No score. Indians defense held Marmaton Valley to a 3-and-out on their first possession. Single back set behind Albertini up under center. He's going to drop back to pass. Oh, he's got Carlson out there. He misses him. Now he rifles it across the middle, and it goes through the hands of Haney. And it falls harmlessly incomplete. He had Carlson leaking out of the backfield around to the right side, wide open also, but he missed him. So it's going to bring up a big 3rd down and 6 for the Indians. Ball spotted at the 27.
Yeah, Carlson was in the flat out to the right side, and Albertini was keyed in on Haney coming across the middle. Just didn't see him.
That went right through Haney's hands, so it wasn't like he missed an open receiver because Haney had every opportunity to reel that in. It went right to his hands. Pistol is Albertini set to his right, is Kennedy. Carlson slot to the right. Albertini fakes it to Kennedy. Now he keeps it. Up the middle he goes. Spins away from one. Hardly not much room. Right back to the line of scrimmage. So a good defensive stand so far for Marmaton Valley. Is going to bring up a big fourth down for the Indians.
I was getting ready to say the same thing. Pretty good defense by Marmaton Valley so far. Keeping Albertini contained back there.
Fourth down and call it 6. Albertini gets the play from Coach Wadrick on the sideline. Indians going to have to hustle up the line of scrimmage here. Look for a hard count, Mike. The Indians been doing a good job of making people jump off sides. 2 receivers wide to the right, Haney and Kennedy. Carlson set next to Albertini in the pistol. Here's the snap, back to pass, rolling to his right, throws it across the middle, over the head of Dent, off his hands, and falls incomplete. So Marmaton Valley takes over 1st and 10, ball at their own 27-yard line. So good defensive stand by each team to start this ball game. Both passes the Indians attempted was both catchable, Mike. One dropped by Haney, and that one off the fingertips of Dent, just a little bit high, maybe a skosh behind him, but not much. Very catchable. Up under center is Griffin. He hands it off, and hit hard. He hands it off to Elliott off the right side. He is hit hard by Dent. Carter. Looks like Haney got up off the pile too. It's going to be a short gain. It's going to be 2nd down and 9. He's still about at the 27-yard line. Griffin, a senior. Elliott, a senior. Quarterback and running back. Had a big fullback in there. I'll try to catch his number this time, see if they stay in the same set. They do not. Now they split 2 receivers wide to the left, 1 to the right. Now it is Elliott in the pistol by himself. Now motion by Griffin. Hand off to Griffin on the end arounds. Got a little running room around that side. He's going to be chopped down. Good tackle by Kennedy. He's going to only end up gaining about 1 on the play, so it'll be 3rd down and 8 for the Wildcats. Let's call it 3rd and 9. He gained another half yard, and they're going to have holding. Didn't see the flag, Mike. Holding on Marmaton Valley. I still don't see a flag anywhere, but White Hatter calls holding, so that'll be a spot foul. I assume the Indians see if they end up taking it here. Oh, there's a flag out there. About the 30.5-yard line, so they are going to mark it off. So the Indians will back the Wildcats up on the 10-yard holding penalty. So it'll be 2nd down and long for the Wildcats. And they're going to spread it out again. 2 receivers wide to the right, 1 to the left. Elliott is the single set in the pistol. See if the Indians get a little pressure on Elliott. Elliott's good snaps, back to pass, rolls to his right, gets around Gib Carter. Now he's going to throw it deep. He's got a man and overthrows him by a mile if they'd kept running a route. As Haney stopped running with him because he thought Elliott was going to scramble past the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's 2 times now. They've had a receiver wide open behind the defense. I think we're going to have to patch that up.
Timeout, Wildcats. We're going to take a timeout. We'll take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Is this mine?
Yep.
Did you get one?
Yeah, it's back here. What's that say?
Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul. 3rd and long for the Wildcats when they get out of this timeout. Wildcats call a timeout with 8:20 left to go here in the first quarter. No score as the second possession for the Wildcats have them in a 3rd and long. Ball backed up inside their own 20 at the 18-yard line. back to pass. Going to throw it around the right side. Has another man wide open.
Just
Overthrows
overthrowing
again.
him.
Boy, the Indians' coverage is way off tonight, as number 48 was the intended receiver, Dudley, as Elliott overthrows his receiver for the third time in the row. There was three. Man, hasn't been an Indian within 5 yards of the receiver every time.
Now, sooner or later, they're going to get that dialed in, and that's going to really hurt.
4th and long for Marmaton Valley. Back in punt formation is Elliott. Back deep is Albertini. High snap, barely reeled in by Elliott. Good punt, end over end. Albertini's going to let it bounce, and as he gets away with it, and gets away from it, it's going to be down at the 29-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Indians at their own 29-yard line. So 28.5 as we'll stay here as the Indians get ready for the first possession of the ball game. Clock running here in the first quarter as the Indians take over possession of the football.
Clock should be stopped on change of possession, I think.
1st and 10 for the Indians. Ball spotted at the 28. As pistol formation, running back to his right and left. Kennedy to his right, Carlson to his left. Albertini's going to fake it, keep it to the right. He's got some running room. Breaks a couple tackles, going to have a 4-yard gain. Good ankle tackle by Marmaton Valley to keep Albertini contained. It'll be 2nd down and call it 6.
Just about broke that one.
A ball across the 33-yard line now. Indians trying to get rolling here on offense. First possession was a 4 and out with a couple incomplete passes on the first possession. I formation now. Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback, Albertini up under center. Fullback dive to Carlson is going to be bottled up after a short gain on the play. Not much room as the Wildcats playing good defense here. It's going to be 3rd down and called it a long 3 for the Indians. Ball up to the 35-yard line.
You know, Colin Carlson, he would always brag about how hard he runs, and he ran hard that time, but there was 3 Wildcats had a hold of him, lifted him up in the air, and drove him backwards on that play.
3rd down and 3 for the Indians. Ball at their own 35. 6:45 left to go in the first. No score. Bradshaw comes up over the football. Murillo at left guard. Haney at left tight end. Split back formation this time. Albertini up under center. He's going to keep it around the left-hand side. He's got some running room. Turns on the Jets. A good tackle come in there by number 42, Botany. But not until a nice 10-yard gain by Albertini gets him across midfield down to the Marmaton Valley 33-yard line.
And one man to beat there. And
1st down.
Albertini comes in from the sideline with the play. Ball at the 33. 1st and 10 for the Indians. Ball in Marmaton Valley territory with 6:22 left to go in the first. No score. One wide receiver splits wide to the left is Kennedy. In the pistol is Albertini. Carlson set to his right. Here's the snap. Albertini's going to keep it. Cuts up the middle. Cuts back. Now out to the left. Got some grass in front of him. One man to beat. Touchdown.
Adam Albertini, touchdown.
Adam Albertini with a 33-yard run on a couple of nice cuts. Finally got to the outside, and he gets the Indians on the board, and they lead 6-0. Pending the extra point here. 6:05 left to go in the first. 6-0 Indians lead.
By Adam Albertini, and St. Paul lines up for the extra point.
See what Coach Watrick calls on the extra point here. One receiver splits wide to the right is Kennedy. To the left is Carlson and Haney, wide to the left. Now Dent splits out with Kennedy. 2 receivers right, 2 to the left. Albertini by himself. Back to pass. Little screen pass over to Haney.
nice move.
Spins away from one and gets into the end zone for the extra point is good. 6:05 left to go here in the first. 8-0 Indians lead. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You listen to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Wave at your mama, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Well, welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul, where the Indians get on the board first, and they lead 8-0 with 6:05 left to go here in the first quarter.
I want to remind everybody you can not only join us here on the air on Hot 105 on the radio, but also if you'll dial up the hot1055.net website, you'll come to the Hot 105 webpage where you can scroll down, find the St. Paul Indian banner. Click on that. It'll take you to the YouTube page where you can watch this game live, streamed on YouTube, and hear the audio from Dan and I. Also, sign up for My Town Media Alerts through Hot 105.5's Facebook page and get a text message on your phone. Keep track of the Indians as they go throughout the game and throughout the season.
As Murillo has the ball teed up for the Indians again, as the Indians set to kick off to the Wildcats. High drive and kick going to be taken about the 5-6 yard line. Return to the left for the Wildcats. Got some grass in front of him. Brought down from behind. Carlson ran him down from behind, but not until he gets across the 30 up to the 32 yard line.
Nice return by the Wildcats on that kick.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Ball spotted at the 34 yard line. As the Indians take the defense for take the field on defense for the 3rd time here tonight. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats from their own 34 yard line. One receiver wide to the left, two to the left, one to the right. It is Elliott in the pistol alone. Now motion from left to right. Elliott's going to keep it off the left side. He's got a little running room. Gets to the outside, and he's brought down from behind by Easton Dent, but not until a nice 12-yard gain, and he gets into Indian territory. Out of bounds after he crossed midfield across the 35 down to the 34, 1st and 10 for Marmaton Valley.
Dent made a nice tackle there from behind. Bradshaw on the right side got turned in a little bit, and Elliott was able to get outside of him.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Ball spotted at the 34. Up under center this time. Crossback action. A little bit of room off the left side. Brought down again. Not until on that nice 6, 7, 8 yard gain on 1st down. I believe that's number 30 on the carry that time is Louder, the sophomore, with the carry. It'll be 2nd down and 8, or 2nd down and 2 as he gained 8 on 1st down as the ball is at the 26 yard line. Now they move 2 down linemen, Murillo and Carter, Dent defensive end and Bradshaw defensive end, so a little different defensive look. I formation right up the middle, dodges one guy, hops for a 1st down, and
boy, that was a big load to tackle.
Colin Carlson had him for a minute, but big number 61. Heskett got him listed as an offensive and defensive lineman, but he carried the ball at fullback, 1st and 10 for the Wildcats, ball at the 18 yard line. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats, 5:02 left to go in the first, 8-0, Indians lead. 2 receivers wide to the right, 1 to the left. Elliott is in the pistol by himself. A little jump now, motion from left to right by Griffin. They hand it off to him as he tries to get around the right-hand side. He goes down, Albertini with a nice defensive play as he gets rid of the defender. And it's going to be a loss of, let's call it 3 on the play as he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Albertini, so it'll be 2nd down and 13 for the Wildcats at the Indian 21.
Griffin tried to reverse his field there, and his feet just kind of slid out from under him, and Indians was right there to take care of it.
I'm going to call a little play-action pass here on this one, Mike.
Yep, I think you're right.
2nd down and 13. Wildcats have had a couple open receivers on occasion. 2 receivers wide to the left, 1 to the right. Elliott in the pistol. Motion. He's going to keep it to the left-hand side. Cuts back. He's got some running room. Carlson comes up and finally brings him down, but not until he gains about 6 yards. Maybe let's call it 7. It's going to be 3rd down and 7 as the ball's spotted at the 15-yard line. 3rd down and 7 for the Wildcats. Ball at the 15 with 3:42 left to go here in the first quarter. Split back formation. Now it's Griffin under center. And here comes the snap. Hard count by Griffith. He's going to hand it to Elliott, right-hand side, Indians' left-hand defensive side. Brought down after about a 1-2 yard gain. It's going to bring up a big 4th down and call it 4 as the ball is down to the 13 yard line. 3:16 clock running here in the first, 8-0, Indians lead. Kind of a sluggish start for the Indians here. One receiver wide to the right, one to the left. Now two to the right, one to the left. Elliott is in the pistol. Now motion from right to left. Elliott's going to keep it. Try the right-hand side. Not much space, and he's going to be brought down by Gib Carter and Colin Carlson, and no gain on the play, so the Indians will take over on downs at their own 12-yard line. So good defensive stand there by the Indians after the Wildcats had got their first 2 first downs of the ball game.
Wildcats had a pretty good drive put together there, and they just stalled out on them when they got down past the 20-yard line.
2:51 left to go here in the first quarter. 8-0 Indians lead. Third possession of the game for the Indians on offense. I formation. Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback, Albertini up under center. He's going to hand it off to Carlson. Puts his shoulder pad down, dragging a man from behind. What a hard run.
He's fun to watch run when he does like that.
Carlson, good 9-yard gain. He hit that hole hard right off a right guard and got a nice 9.5-yard gain. It'll be second down and short. Now they're going to stop the clock and measure it. And I believe my call, Mike, is he is about a half a football short of a first down, or maybe I'm wrong, as the chain gang comes on out.
We're going to find out here in just a minute.
Get everybody woke up over there. And here comes the chain gang as they are going to measure. A good start to the ball game here, Mike.
Yeah, it is a good start to the game for both teams. Both teams playing a little slow. Like you said, you called it, Dan, half a football short.
So it'll be second down and short for the Indians. This opens up the playbook a little bit for Coach Watrick and the Indians. See if they maybe run a little play-action pass here, Mike.
Well, they're wanting to throw that pass and just couldn't get anyone to be able to grab a hold of it and get their hands on it, so I wouldn't be surprised they keep trying that, because kind of like Marmaton Valley, sooner or later one of them's going to grab hold of that. It's going to work for them, and they're going to get a big gain.
Second down and short. Albertini up under center, split back formation. Now now he goes back into the pistol. To his left is Carlson, to his right is Kennedy. Here's the snap, back to pass, looking down the middle. Now he rolls to his right, throws it late, has Haney. Haney reels it in. Nice pass and catch from Albertini to Haney up to the 35-yard line. They needed a half a yard, and they got 13, Mike. 13-yard pass and catch from Adam Albertini to Kenny Haney, and it's an Indian first down as they try to push the ball up here in the first quarter. First and 10 for the Indians. Now 2 wide receivers to the right is Haney and Kennedy. Single back, fullback is Carlson. Option to the right. Carlson on a hard dive off to the right. And he's brought down, but not until a nice 6-7 yard gain on first down. See where they spot it across midfield, right at the midfield stripe. Let's call it second down and a short 5 for the Indians.
I like to see the Indians mixing that up. They've been relying real heavily on Adam Albertini running the ball. It's nice to see him throwing it around a little bit, kind of opening that playbook up and give them some more looks.
Second down and 5. Homecoming here at Miles Field for the Indians. Coach's favorite time of the week.
Equipment timeout.
As the Marmaton Valley Wildcat Louder has some equipment trouble, they sub in for him. So the Indians up at the line of scrimmage. Albertini set to get under center. Carlson at fullback. Kennedy at tailback. Here comes the snap. Hand off to Kennedy, left side. Cuts back up to the middle. Nice cut, spins away, puts his shoulder pad down. Good hard run by Keaton Kennedy. I believe that's his first touch of the night for Kennedy, and he's going to be close to a first down. He did get a first down by about a football. So we'll give him a nice 5-yard gain on second down. It'll be first and 10 for the Indians. Ball down to the 35. Coach Watrick calls into play. Haney in, going to come in at quarterback. That's going to put Albertini at tailback. First and 10 for the Indians. Ball across midfield to the 35. Pitch out to Albertini, the right side. Cuts back, cuts right, cuts left. He's bottled up and brought down after no gain. Let's give him a gain of 1. It'll be second down and 9 for the Indians. Ball now just across the 35-yard line. Not much room for Albertini to run on the pitch around the right-hand side.
No, front line of Indians had their hands full. That defensive line for Marmaton Valley is playing a good ball game up front.
Wilson Smith in at left tight end. I formation. Carlson at fullback, Albertini at tailback. Handoff to Albertini left side. Tries to get to the outside. Keeps his feet somehow. And down the left sideline he goes. Touchdown, Indian. What a run by Albertini. As he was all but brought down and broke a tackle. Kept his legs running hard and got into the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, the top half of him was going down, but his feet caught up, and away he went off to the races.
Indians lead 14-0. 31 seconds left to go here in the first as Haney comes in off the sideline. As Hayden Smith comes into the game, as Albertini's going to come out and get a little breather, I think. Nope, Wilson Smith is. As these young kids getting some playing time here, as Kennedy had to come out for a minute. For extra point here pending. Carlson at fullback, Albertini at tailback, Haney up under center. He's going to roll back to pass. Throws it out. Has Carlson. Nice catch. He's going to be out of bounds, though. But good catch with a wrapped-up thumb as Haney just got it over the head of the defender. Good pass and catch, but a little bit out of bounds. So the Indians will stick to a 14-0 lead with 31 seconds left to go here in the first. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. We're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul as the Indians lead 14-0 with 31 seconds left to go here in the first quarter.
Pretty good first quarter put together by the Indians. A couple of nice drives and not getting in a big hurry. There's been a couple big plays by Albertini like there usually is, but for the most part, just putting together some good steady drives, running the ball, passing a little bit, and finally hit one there with Haney. Dropped a couple passes early on, but overall, pretty good first quarter so far put together by the Indians.
So I got a question for you, Mike. Was you home all day helping Sydney paint her fingernails and stuff, get ready for homecoming tonight?
She had to play a little powder puff football this afternoon, so she had a quick turnaround.
I bet you them girls didn't like that, getting sweaty before they had to go on.
They were having a good time.
That's good. It's always fun for the kids at homecoming. There's a lot of stuff this week. I know Spirit Week, so my kids was dressing up every day for school. It's kind of funny to see how they dressed up and get into it. That's good. It's good school spirit. Morello ball teed up, better drive and kick. It's going to be returnable, taking about the 2-yard line. Nope, he stepped into the end zone. His right foot was in the end zone. That's always good. Small schools, Mike, they had float. They came up and played powder puff football. They had float judging, which every high school grade level 9, 10, 11, and 12 makes a float this week. Nice participation there. Seen some of the floats. They looked awful nice parked out here.
Yeah, it's a nice time. The kids have fun. They work all week and work real hard on it and spend a lot of evening times up there trying to put those floats together.
And we want to make sure we thank all the sponsors, all the teachers that sponsor all the events of the week and the homecoming. I know Mrs. Harper big involved in Stuco and the sponsoring of everything that goes along with the week, so good for her. As Marmaton Valley, first possession, right up the middle, Griffin cut down low by Albertini and Carter, but not until he gained about 4 yards up to the 20-yard line. Let's call it a game of 5. It'll be second down and 5 for the Wildcats. Ball spotted at the 20.
Who's on that carry? Dana missed it.
That was number 12, Mike Griffith, with a 5-yard carry. Good crowd on hand for Indians homecoming here. As that's the end of the first quarter. First quarter score, Indians 14, Wildcats 0. We'll be back after this 1-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105.
This Thursday, there's a Three Rivers League cross-country meet at Southeast. That'll be at 4:40. You get a chance to get down there and support our cross-country team. Again, that is a Three Rivers League cross-country meet at Southeast. That'll be at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul, Kansas. Second down and 5 for Marmaton Valley as we get set to start the second quarter here where the Indians lead 14-0. Marmaton Valley split 2 to the right, 1 to the left. It'll be Elliott in the pistol by himself. They usually have a man go in motion, and they do from left to right. Here's the snap. Elliott's going to keep it, and he's going to be chopped down after about a 1-yard loss. Looks like Albertini and Carlson both in there on the tackle. It'll be third down and 5, no gain on the play.
Good job coming up there. Albertini coming up on that blitz. We've seen him do that before, and gets him a little bit nervous when they see him sneaking up to that line of scrimmage, and that's why he's able to sneak in there, and especially with him and Carlson together, make some good tackles.
And it's going to be another timeout by the Wildcats here, just underway here in the second quarter. So we'll go ahead and take a short timeout. We're going to take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105.
Can you reach it?
Well, welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul. 11:34 left to go in the second quarter. 14-0. Indians lead Wildcat football at their own 20 coming out of the timeout called by them. Their second of the half, as now a little different set in the pistol. Fullback set to his left. Griffin is in the pistol to his set left is Louder. Behind him is Elliott. Here comes the snap. Leaning forward, that's going to be a procedure on Louder as he did not stay set leaning forward. False start on Wildcats. Going to back them up to their 15. It'll be third and 10 for the Wildcats.
Yeah, they're at Albertini doing that little jump step he does up towards the line of scrimmage, getting him nervous back there.
I haven't seen Albertini blitzing from the monster yet tonight. Kind of back in that free safety position as the Indians go back to a single down lineman. Gib Carter, left defensive end. Bradshaw at the right defensive end. One receiver wide to the right is Griffin, as in the pistol is Elliott. And Griffith goes in motion from right to left. Elliott with the football is going to run to the left. Now he's going to throw it. Looks down the middle. Has a man again wide open. And right through his hands. And falls incomplete. Pass intended for number 42. Botany
was just above his head a little bit, not much. And
I don't know how excuse me, Mike. I don't know how the Wildcats are disguising their formations or the pass routes, but boy, if they would be
open every time
close, that one was catchable. And there hasn't been an Indian within 5 yards of a Wildcat receiver each time they've tried a pass attempt. It's just been a little bit off for them. Good snap. Elliott with the punt. End over end punt. It's going to be returnable. Taken on the run at the 30. Cross midfield 40. 35. Down to the 27-yard line. Brought down there. First and 10 for the Indians at the 28-yard line. Great field position for the Indians. Here with 11:18 left to go in the second quarter where the Indians lead 14-0. Well, Changay needs to back up about a half yard. They're making, there we go. They're going to back up there. As it's right across the field from us, they get lined up. Bradshaw up to the line of scrimmage. First and 10 for the Indians. Albertini up under center. Split backfield. Kennedy to his right. Carlson to his left. Here's the snap. Back to pass. Rolls to his right. Looking. Now he throws it deep for Haney and over his head by about 3 yards. Haney definitely has a height advantage on Botany, but out over his outstretched hands, about 3 foot too tall for Haney.
Albertini got that strong arm, especially when he's rolling out. He can throw that ball a long ways. He just overthrew Haney a little bit, but with Haney's height, he's a good target out there.
Second down and 10 for the Indians. Ball at the 28-yard line. 11-11 left to go before halftime. Indians lead 14-0. Up to the line of scrimmage. Back into the I. Carlson at fullback. Kennedy at tailback. Albertini up under center is going to run the option. Keeps it. Pitches it to Kennedy. Kennedy's going to be hit hard. Leans forward. He's going to gain 2 on the lean. Up to the 26-yard line. It's going to bring up a big third down and 8. Good defense by the Wildcats on the option. Good option ran by the Indians that time. Just nowhere to go. Good one-on-one tackle by the Wildcats.
Kennedy way out there on that pitch. He was able to lean forward after the initial hit. Kind of got held up there. I was a little worried. That defender came in on the second hit to put him down and gave him a pretty good hit.
3rd down and 8 for the Indians. In the pistol is Albertini, set to his left. Kennedy. He's going to run the option to the left. Shovel pass. Ball's loose. That's an incomplete pass. Should be an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
They do finally call it incomplete, as I love that play, but that time it did not work. Don't know if that bandaged up left hand for Carlson had an effect on him catching that, but they run that appears to be the option to the left and run a shovel pass to the slot back, which is Carlson coming from right to left, as that ball ended up on the turf, and it took a while for the White Hatter to figure out that was an incomplete pass. Big 4th down for the Indians, 4th and 8. Ball at the Marmaton Valley 26-yard line. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Kennedy and Dent to the right, Haney and Carlson to the left. Now Kennedy goes in motion. He's going to fake it. Now Albertini's going to keep it. Cuts back, goes back up the middle. He's got some running room, breaks the tackle, and there he goes. Touchdown, Adam Albertini.
Boy, that was all Albertini. He went on the play like he was supposed to the left, didn't see anything, cut back on his own, and went right up the middle, found a hole, and then he was off to the races again.
26-yard touchdown run for Adam Albertini as he's racking up the yardage here tonight. As the Indians really, quite honestly, having struggled with their offense, getting it going full speed. Only completed 1 pass. Carlson's had a nice night on the ground, but not a whole good sure tackling by Marmaton Valley has limited the Indians. It's been Albertini on breaking tackles on big plays for the most part here tonight. Indians lead 20-0, 10-17 left to go before halftime. I formation. Hand off to Kennedy, left side, cuts back, leans towards the goal line, and it's going to be no good. He's got to know where that goal line is and try to stretch that football out over it, but the extra point is no good. 20-0. Indians lead with 10-17 left to go here before half. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105.
Next Friday night, St. Paul will travel to Shintoka. That game will be at 7 p.m. That'll be the USD 505 tailgate party. That'll be starting at 6 p.m. Show up for a free hot dog or free courtesy of USD 505 in the tailgate party between these 2 district ball teams.
Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul. Excuse me. As St. Paul just comes off of a nice Adam Albertini 26-yard touchdown run. 10-17 left to go here in the second quarter. 20-0. Indians lead over the Wildcats.
Yeah, Indians failed on those 2 extra point conversions. This game so far hasn't been an issue for them, but they need to make sure that they're learning how to capitalize on those, because those we talk about all the time, how important those points are to leave out there on the field. That's 4 points that they've left on the field so far.
Murillo with the ball, getting ready to tee the ball up for the Indians. Back deep is Griffin and Elliott for the Wildcats.
Ivan Murillo kicking for the Indians.
And Murillo with the kick. He approaches. High driving kick, going to be returnable. Taking it to 5 by Elliott. Up to the 15, 20, 25, 30. He's got some running room. Stays in bounds. Finally wrestled out of bounds by Carlson, but not until he's close to midfield, about the 38-yard line.
Elliott on the return for the Wildcats.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats from their own 38.
Marked out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Tackled by Colin Carlson.
10:09 left to go here before halftime. Indians lead 20-0.
That's the best field position Marmaton Valley's had this first half off a kickoff return. See what they can do with it.
It looks like Griffin's going to be in the pistol. Behind him is Elliott, set at the tailback. 2 people lean forward. That's got to be a flag as they let him reset. Here's a snap. Nobody there for it to hand off to. Griffin's going to keep it. It's got some running room. Cuts back. And he's going to be chopped down, but not until after a nice 8-yard gain on 1st down.
Yeah, Griffith wanted to hand it off, and there wasn't anybody in the backfield to take the handoff.
2nd down, and let's call it 2 for the Wildcats, as now they are across into Indian territory, across the 35 to about the 34.5-yard line. Griffin under center. Elliott single back set behind him. Louder slot right. Louder with carry off the left-hand side. Hit. Misses the tackle but brought down. Albertini slowed him down. Carlson, Kennedy, and Bradshaw all clean it up. No gain on the play. It's going to bring up a big 3rd down and 2 as the ball now about the 34-yard line. 20-0. Indians lead here in the second quarter.
Going to put Griffin 61 in the backfield.
Griffin up under center. Elliott at tailback. It's going to be a handoff to the big fullback. Puts his shoulder pads down, trying to. Indians come up and gang tackle him. He's going to be right at the first down marker. And it looks like
they're going to give him a good spot.
They're going to be about the 22, and that's about where they needed to get for a first down. See what they do here as the White Hatter eyeballs over there. And he's going to, nope, he's going to stop it and measure. And I'm not real sure this time, Mike. We don't have a good angle at it. It looks to me like he may be just a little bit short of the first down. I think number 61 on the carry, that's Heskett. They don't have weights listed, but he would be a load to try to bring down. And it's going to be a first down by the nose of a football for the Wildcats. 8:51 left to go here in the second quarter. Indians lead 20-0. First and 10, Wildcats. Ball spotted at the Indian 22.
Thought about going out on a limb, Dan, on that 3rd and short and calling that ahead of time, give it to big 61, and they did that, but he got out there before I got to make the call.
Griffith's going to come up. Nope, he's going to split wide to the left. It's going to be Elliott in the pistol. Louder to his right in the slot. One receiver split wide to the right. Now Griffith's going to go in motion. They're going to run it to the right. Elliott's going to keep it. Tries to cut back. Ankle tackle. Good tackle by Albertini as he slips up through there. And he's going to cut Elliott down for a 1-yard loss or a short loss. Let's call it second down and a long 10 for the Wildcats. 8:22 left to go in the second quarter.
Credit the defense on that, Dan, because when they bring all those guys to the right, it's basically everyone to the right and the runner right behind him. And he got a lot of blockers in front of him, but St. Paul is staying home and doing a good job fighting off the blocks and stopped him for no gain.
Sideline warning against Marmaton Valley.
Sideline warning.
I don't think that's a flag yet. I think they give him a warning, and then if they do it again, then it's a flag. So the side judge calls a slide line warning on Marmaton Valley. Second down and 10 for Marmaton Valley. Ball spotted at the Indian 32-yard line. Elliott in the pistol. Wide to the right is Griffith. Elliott waits for the snap. Here comes the snap. Back to pass. Looking down the middle. Now to the right. All kinds of time to throw it. Now getting a little bit of pressure by Gib Carter, and he's going to try to scramble, and he's going to be brought down by Carlson. Oh, the ball comes loose.
Turnover.
And the Indians end up with it. I didn't even see the ball on the turf, Mike.
Either.
I think maybe Carlson come out and knocked it out of Elliott's hands. He had all day to throw. He looked down the middle of the field, down to the right. A lot better coverage by the Indians. Nowhere for him to go. Indians come up with a strip and sack and strip, and get on the football.
Well, and they only had one receiver out on a route. Everyone else stayed home to block, and it was the one receiver that had 3 defenders out there to cover him. That's how they got much better coverage that time.
First and 10 for the Indians. Ball spotted at midfield at the 40-yard line. It's going to be Albertini rolling to his left. Looking. Now he's going to scramble to his right. Now he stops, throws it back across the field. Brought in by Kennedy. What a catch. Ooh, and he's going to be slammed to the ground. And there's going to be a flag come in as Kennedy's going to be on the ground as he was slammed to the ground. Picked up and body slammed. He gets up off the ground holding that left arm. And that's going to be a flag. It's going to be a personal foul as Elliott hoist Kennedy up off the ground and body slammed him into the ground. So unnecessary roughness on Marmaton Valley. 15-yard penalty.
You know, Kennedy doesn't weigh a lot. He's not a very big kid, and Elliott got quite a bit of size on him, and he did. He just picked him up and threw him down like a sack of feed.
Let's talk about the play, though. The play was Chain Gang needs to get down there and get set as Albertini rolled all the way to his right, had nowhere to throw it, set his feet, threw clear across the field to Kennedy, and Elliott was the only one out there on him. So it's going to be a nice gain on the play. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Indians. Ball to 20. Haney in the ball game. Albertini on the pitch around the right side, cuts down the middle. He's hit hard by Griffin and brought down after a nice gain on the play. It's going to be a 4-yard gain. Let's call it 2nd down and 6. Griffith on the tackle for Marmaton Valley. 2nd down and 6. Ball now spotted at the 15-yard line. As Bradshaw comes up with the football, 2nd and 6 ball at the 15-yard line. I formation. Carlson a fullback. Albertini now at tailback. Carlson on the dive, and he's running hard as his knee ended up on the ground. I hate to chuckle, but he ran right over one of our guys from behind.
Made his own hole on that play.
And tripped himself up over, I believe it was Gib Carter. And it's going to be 3rd down and 4. Carlson stayed on his feet, but his knee must have went down to the ground as they blew it dead as he broke loose around the left side. 6:23 left to go here in the 2nd quarter. 20-0 Indians lead. Big 3rd down and 4 for the Indians. Ball spotted inside the 15 at the 14. Haney up under center. Carlson at fullback. Albertini at tailback. Hand off to Carlson. Right side. One man to beat. Ankle tackled. But not until he has a 1st down. Louder. Boy, he's hitting that hole hard.
Yeah, he's hitting it hard and fast.
And Louder somehow got his hand out there, wrapped around Collins' left ankle and brought him down. It'll be 1st and goal for the Indians. Ball spotted at the 7-yard line.
St. Paul making a statement now, just running hard right up the middle, right at him.
Bradshaw up over the football. Gib Carter at right guard. Easton Dent right tight end. Kenny Haney up under center. Going to pitch it to Albertini around the left-hand side. Makes a move. Jumps him over a guy. He's going to be inside to 5. Kind of little hop skip over a tackle. It's going to be down to the 3-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal for the Indians at the Wildcat 3-yard line. 5:32 left to go before halftime. 20-0 Indians lead.
Don't forget, coming up halftime, the Labette Health halftime show.
Who do you got on for a guest, Mike?
Well, right now I got a couple guests pending, and I haven't had any committals yet, so we'll see how it goes.
I have to put the high pressure on them. Split back formation. Carlson set behind Haney. Albertini hand off to Carlson. Not much room. Puts his shoulder pads down. Drives into the end zone. Touchdown. Colin Carlson, as he about has his shirt ripped off as he leaned for that end zone and got in there. Touchdown, Indians. 26-0. 5:08 left to go in the 2nd. Pending the extra point. Nice drive put together by the Indians on the sack and strip of the football to get the ball back from the Wildcats. Haney comes in for the extra point with the play. Up to the line of scrimmage goes the Indians. It'll be a split back. Looks like Haney's going to be in the pistol. Carlson slot right. Set to Haney's right is Albertini. Here's the snap. He's going to run the option. Pitches it to Albertini. Up the middle. Into the end zone he goes. And there's a flag. Comes in late. And I don't know if that's going to be a hold on Easton Dent. It was around Easton Dent and Griffith. And now another flag comes in. That looked like it was going to be on the Indians. As
I wonder if somebody said something because the official was looking right at him when he threw that second flag.
Holding on the Indians. And unsportsmanlike conduct on the Indians, so Coach Wattrick is not going to be happy about that, as there's no need for that on the extra point. Dent and Griffith was tangled up on this right-hand side. A flag came in late after Albertini crossed into the end zone right as he did. But as the Indians was walking back to huddle up, somebody said something because the ref was watching the whole way. I seen him looking that way, and then he threw the flag. So not sure who that penalty flag was on, but I know Coach Wattrick will not be happy about not being disciplined and keeping your cool there. And this is going to be an extra point. They're going to need an Uber driver.
They're going to have to go a long ways. That's a 15-yarder.
They're still, well, it's the holding plus the unsportsmanlike after the play. So it should be a 10-yard penalty plus another 15. 27 should be at the 29. Well, it's going to be at the 25.
I didn't know you could assess both of them. I thought you had to take
well,
one
yeah,
or the other.
No, you do because the unsportsmanlike
Okay.
came after the play was over.
Okay.
So it gets tacked on after the penalty. So Marmaton Valley took the holding call, and then the unsportsmanlike was tacked on afterwards.
Going to be about 20 yards further than what they had before, for sure.
So it's going to be an extra point from the 25-yard line. Two receivers wide to the right. In the pistol is Albertini. Set to his left is Carlson, 508. And this is an extra point from the 25-yard line. Albertini back to pass, rolls to his right, throws it, looks for Haney, and it's going to be picked off by Griffiths. So extra point is no good. So the Indians lead 26-0. 5:08 left to go here in the second quarter. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're in St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back to Miles Field here on Homecoming. Dan Venn alongside Mike McCracken. 5:08 left to go here in the second quarter. 26-0 Indians lead, and they will be kicking to the Wildcats. As I see Keaton Kennedy still on the sideline over here getting attention from Mr. Jackenhall as he was body slammed hard.
He took a hard lick.
Looked like a WWE
It did.
wrestling
It looked
move.
like a wrestling move.
As they are really starting to cut down on all that kind of thing, especially in the higher college and NFL. And
well, you got to protect the ball carrier when you can, and in a deal like that, you know, you can make a good tackle and without having to.
Wasn't nothing dirty.
It wasn't dirty. It was just one of those good, hard, aggressive plays. And like I said,
Elliott.
I think the weight difference was probably the biggest factor in that.
Ellie had him wrapped up around the waist where Kennedy wasn't going to go anywhere. Instead of bringing him down the ground, he hoisted him off the ground and slammed him like a body slam and wrestling. And it drew a flag. Either way, Indians get on the board. 26-0 is the lead. Now short kick. Going to be on the ground, but now finally gone on late by Marmaton Valley. They're in a great field position as that ball was loose on the turf. Louder finally got on it. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats in their own territory at their own 36.
Wildcats going to need to try and get some points on the board here before halftime. It's a 26-point lead by the Indians. Going to be pretty hard to overcome in the second half. They don't get started.
36-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Indians lead 26-0. Let's see who's at quarterback. It'll be Elliott. Griffith splits wide to the right, two receivers to the left. Now motion from left to right by Louder. Here's a snap. He's going to keep it right at the middle. Elliott got some running room. Hayden Smith finally knocks him out of bounds, not until he's across midfield down to the 30-yard line. He's knocked out at the 30, 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. And the ball down to the Indians' 30-yard line. Good 14-yard gain on 1st down. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats at the Indians' 30. Elliott in the pistol, two receivers to the left, one to the right. Spreading the Indians out. Louder in motion again. And this time there's a flag comes in from the side. It's going to be a false start against the Wildcats. It's going to back them up 5 yards and make it 1st and 15.
You know, when Elliott gets ahead of steam up, he's a big kid. He's a load to bring down, and a lot like Colin Carlson. He's a good, hard runner, and he headed for the sideline, got over there, and Smith was able to get him knocked out of bounds, but he had a head of steam build up on that run.
1st and 15 for the Wildcats. Ball back at the 35-yard line. Wildcats come up to the line of scrimmage. Elliott in the pistol, two receivers to the left, one to the right. They've been running the set a lot. Louder in motion from right to left. Another flag on the play, and it's going to be a false start again against the Wildcats. They are shooting themselves in the foot.
Somebody on the front line is not staying completely set.
So it is going to be 1st and 20 for the Wildcats. Now the ball back at the 40-yard line. Griffith comes in with the play. from the sideline for the Wildcats. 1st and 20. Ball now at the 40-yard line. One receiver wide to the right. Slot to the left is Louder. In the pistol is Elliott. Here comes the snap. Elliott drops back to pass. Looking to his left. Has a man almost knocked down by Hayden Smith. Looked like he had a beat on the ball. Good job by Smith on the coverage.
A lot better coverage that time.
Pass
2 receivers out.
Intended for Wes Louder, a sophomore, number 34. Second down and 20 for the Wildcats. With 4:56 left to go here before halftime. Clock stopped with the incomplete pass. As they come up the line of scrimmage for the second down and 20. Griffith in the pistol. Back to passes. Griffith now, one receiver out on the route. He's going to scramble to the right. He's got a little run room. Gets around Dent. Ball's coming loose. And I think Marmaton Valley got back on it.
Yeah.
Very fortunate that somebody was trailing the play. A lineman, number 50, I believe. Novel got on it, the junior.
Good heads-up play.
3rd down and 17 for the Wildcats. A ball across midfield to the Indians' 38. Could quite possibly be 2-down territory for the Wildcats, depending on what they do here on this play. 4:24, clock running. Indians lead 26-0. 4:20 left to go before halftime. It's going to be Elliott back in the pistol. Griffith split wide to the right. Elliott now back to pass all day. Throws it deep, and it's going to be picked off by Kenny Haney as he played that ball perfectly that time. And he picks it off, so it'll be the Indians football, 1st and 10.
Indian ball, 1st and 10.
Great coverage that time, Mike.
Yeah, a lot better coverage. And Haney watched that ball. It kind of floated a little bit. Gave Haney time to make a good read on it. Good play. Broke right on the ball, stepped right in front of the receiver and brought it in.
1st and 10 for the Indians. Ball spotted at the 15-yard line. As Austin O'Hara comes into the game for the Indians, and Gib Carter's going to come out and get a breather. 1st and 10 for the Indians is now a little confusion with the Indians going to have to use a timeout, trying to get right personnel on the game. In the game, 4:05 left to go before halftime. Indians lead 26-0. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105.
Don't forget at halftime, have your tickets ready for the 50-50 raffle. We'll be announcing the winner of the 50-50 raffle at halftime.
Welcome back to Miles Field in St. Paul. 4:05 left to go before halftime. Indians take over on downs, 1st and 10. Looks like the ball spotted at their own 14-yard line after the interception by Kenny Haney. So the Indians, plenty of time on the clock here. 4 minutes, had to use a timeout with a little personnel confusion on offense as they hustle back out onto the field as Wilson Smith comes into the game. 1st and 10 for the Indians from their own 14-yard line. Now O'Hara comes out. Now there's too many men in the huddle. Coming out of a timeout, I don't know how the wrong personnel. Coach Walker,
12 men on the field.
Not a bit happy. 9 men on the field.
There are 9 men, I guess you're right. Kind of like the 100-yard touchdown right there. Got confused.
Austin O'Hara ran into the game before the timeout. Gib Carter started to come out. Then he went back in. Then they called a timeout. And I seen Wilson Smith go in the game, and O'Hara stayed into the game. And there was 9 men in the huddle. So now it's a 5-yard penalty. Indians inside their own 10 at their 9-yard line. Who do we got? We got Haney in the pistol. He's going to pass it back across the middle. He's got Carlson out there. Off his outstretched. Good diving attempt at the football just off his fingertips and falls incomplete. Carlson had 5 yards on the next man behind him. He was behind the coverage.
We had a good look at that play, and I thought it was going to work, and just barely outside of what Colin could reach for.
4 minutes. Clock stopped. here in the second quarter. Indians lead 26-0. Now 2nd and 15 from their own 9. Good time for Haney to pass. Plenty of time back in the pocket. Just missed Colin Carlson off his fingertips. I formation. Carlson at fullback. Albertini at tailback. Here comes the snap. Hand off to Albertini. Tries to cut, spins away. He's going to have about 5 yards back. It's going to bring up a big 3rd down and 10 for the Indians inside of 4 minutes left to go here before halftime. Stick around for our Labette Health halftime show here on Homecoming. Nice crowd here at Homecoming. Indians dressed out in the maroon with gold numbers, white stripes on the shoulder pads. Marmaton Valley in their road jerseys, black bottoms, white tops with orange letters, as now the Indians are going to use, appears like they're going to use another timeout, and they do. So after this timeout, it will be 3rd down and 11 for the Indians from their own 13-yard line. We'll go ahead and stick around here for this timeout as the Indians lead 26-0. What do you think so far, Mike?
Pretty good game, Dan. We'll talk real quick about some of the things coming up next week in the land of the Indians over here at St. Paul. On Monday night, there's a school board meeting down at Chetopa. The 505 school board have a meeting on Monday night. But not only that, junior high volleyball will be in a 6-team tournament at St. Paul. Starts at 4:30. It's a 2-gym format, and the new gym will be Pool A. That'll be St. Paul and Thayer and Marmaton Valley, and Marmaton Valley and St. Paul.
Where's the other 3 teams, Mike?
Huh?
Who's the other 3 teams?
I don't know, but that's what it says. I'm just reading off the list, Dan. Nice catch, though. You want me to go ahead or you want me to stop?
I think the paper must have got cut off. The print must have been too big, Mike, because I caught that earlier, and I was just.
You just let me hang, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I didn't let you
that.
hang because I really
No,
I read 6
that.
teams. I thought, wait a minute, there's not 6 teams there.
I'll let you cover that next time.
Yeah, that's my fault. I should have cut you off. What's going on Tuesday night?
I don't know. You better read that one.
Oh, high school volleyball triangular at Jayhawk Lynn looks like 5 o'clock start. You'll be there, won't you, Mike?
I'll probably try to make that one.
Yeah, daughter playing there Thursday night. Let's see, junior high volleyball at Thayer. Hey, that's the big. Still Mineral Belt.
Mineral Belt League in junior high, yep.
Big 3rd down and long, coming out of timeout. Albertini in the pistol. Here's the snap. Boy, bad snap. He reels it in. Now he's going to be sacked.
Oh.
Way deep.
That didn't work at all.
That didn't work at all. Clear inside his 5 at the 3-yard line. So
lost about 9 or 10 yards.
Will be forced to punt here on a 4th. What's your favorite saying now, Mike?
4th and a cab ride, what our buddy Larry over at Hot 10 or 95.3 likes to say. And I'd say this is definitely 4th and a cab ride. It's a long ways.
Marmaton Valley timeout. So with that, we'll take a timeout. We'll take a 30-second timeout. You're the St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back. Miles Field here in St. Paul. Timeout called by Marmaton Valley as the Indians are going to be forced into punt formation here with 3:07 left to go before halftime. First punt of the game by the Indians is Marmaton Valley with a good defensive stand here. As the Indians will be back to see where the ball's at, Mike, inside their own
inside the 5, yeah.
About the 4-yard line, so we're going to have a good snap here.
Going to have to be careful back in that neighborhood.
As up to the line of scrimmage, the Indians come. Carlson back to punt, standing close to the back line in the end zone. Low snap, no pressure, good end-over-end punt. It's going to be taken on the fly by Griffin, almost drops it. Albertini right there, misses the tackle. Got some running room around the right side, cuts back up the middle, drugged down by Hayden Smith, and somebody else got up off the pile, Easton Dent maybe. It's going to be great field position for Marmaton Valley. Got it back to the Indian 20. That was a pretty good end-over-end punt, but Griffith took it on the fly, broke a tackle by Albertini, and had a nice return. First and 10 for Marmaton Valley at the Indian 20. Griffith in the shotgun. Louders set behind him. Two receivers wide to the right. Griffith will snap back to pass, looks across the middle of the field, has a man crossing across the field, and falls off of off of Elliott's fingertips. Albertini was on the coverage, but it's a good-looking pass. I think Albertini's hands might have gotten the vision of Elliott as that ball fell to the ground. It'll be second down and 10. Griffith all day to throw. Good crossing post pattern run by Elliott.
A lot better job coverage there by Albertini.
2:49 left to go before halftime. Second and 10. One receiver to the right, two to the left. Now it is Elliott in the pistol. Louder goes in motion from the left to right. Here's a snap, low snap. Louder's going to keep it. Up the middle he goes. That looked like a hold on Dent, but no call. Louder with a nice gain. He's going to be close to a Marmaton Valley first down, just out right at the 10-yard line. Looks like it is going to be a first down. It's going to be first and goal for the Wildcats inside the Indian 10 with 2:41 left to go before half.
Get inside the 10-yard line to the 9. It'll be first and goal to go for the Wildcats.
First and goal from the Indian 9-yard line. This is after Marmaton Valley forced the Indians into a 4th and a mile and had to punt from their own end zone. Griffith now in the pistol. Motion a little bit. Now Elliott resets to the left. Low snap. Griffith back to pass. Looks to his left. Tipped at the line of scrimmage and batted down.
Tipped by an Indian.
And it'll be a holding against Marmaton Valley. And that flag thrown clear back at the 18-yard line.
Came in late after the ball was released, but
2:18 left to go before halftime. Innings lead 26-0 over Marmaton Valley. See, and that is from the flag. Boy, that flag was thrown clear back at the 8-yard line. Line of scrimmage was the 9, so that is way, way deep for a hold. Like that hold happened 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
That one's a costly one.
So it's going to be second goal. The sticks are still standing up over there, but pay no attention to them. It is replay first down. It is first and goal. The ball backed clear up to the 26-yard line. First and goal from the 26, Elliott. With the shotgun snap, back to pass, looks across the middle, and that's going to be way overthrown and harmlessly falls incomplete. So it'll be second down and goal from the 26-yard line. 2:13 left to go here before halftime. Austin O'Hara comes into the game for Gib Carter.
That's 7 passes on the night Marmaton Valley's thrown, and they've yet to complete one.
As well as Wilson Smith comes in at the nose guard position to give Murillo a break. Indians with just 3 hats on the sideline with Kennedy dinged up. Elliott in the pistol. Back to pass again. Looks to his right, now to the middle, back to the right. He's going to heave it up. And way overthrown is Albertini. Almost.
He really wanted that one, didn't he?
Almost. Reeled that in one-handed somehow. It would have been clear at the goal line, but either way, it falls incomplete. It's going to be third and goal from the 26-yard line. Elliott just, last 2 passes, just throwing as far as he can, hoping somebody can run under it. We'll see what they do here on third and goal. 2:06 left to go before halftime. The only good thing is, Mike, they're stopping the clock for the Indians. Still have 2 timeouts.
Indians a chance.
As Elliott's going to stay in the pistol. One receiver, just Griffith, wide to the left this time. Here comes the snap. Now motion from left to right is Griffith. Back to pass again is Elliott. Looking. Throws it late. Ball falls incomplete again. So it's going to be fourth down and goal. Ball at the 26.
Boy, the official was in the way there and interrupted that pass route, because as he made his break outside, I saw him get hung up with the official behind the line of scrimmage there.
Fourth and goal from the 27-yard line for the Wildcats. 2 minutes exactly left to go before halftime. Indians lead 26-0. Indians have met a good, sure-tackling Wildcat team here, Mike.
Yes, sure
for
have.
the most
Good
part.
defense.
Griffith in the pistol. One receiver, now 2 to the right. And here's the snap. Griffith back to pass. Looking on the out and up. He's going to scramble, and he's going to be sacked. Back at the 31-yard line.
Speaking of
Looks
good
like
defense.
Carlson O'Hara, Dent all get up off the pile as he had plenty of time to throw. No receivers open, so good secondary defense by the Indians. Now the Indians are going to have a chance here before halftime. Plenty of time. 1:53 left to go before half. 1st and 10 for the Indians at their own 31. That holding call really cost the Wildcats. They went from the 9.
Yeah, really a missed opportunity there by Marmaton Valley. Started out with the ball on the St. Paul 20-yard line, got down to the 9, and then that huge holding call.
Holding call was thrown from 18, so they lost dang near 20 yards on a holding call, 18 yards. Pistol is Albertini. Hayden Smith set to his right, Carlson to the left, back to pass, looking across the middle. Has Haney, reels it in, and he's going to be brought down, but not until he gets down to into the Wildcat territory at the 26-yard line. Griffith on the coverage. Good pass and catch from Albertini to Haney. Indians hustle back up the line of scrimmage because as soon as the chains get set, the clock will wind. 1st and 10 for the Indians. 2 receivers wide to the left. Albertini in the pistol. Carlson set to his right. Here's the snap. Carlson on the handoff. Inside dive. Dragging a man by the shirt. Or the man had Carlson by the shirt, and he was dragging big number 50. That's a big load to carry.
Yeah.
Novel had him by the shirt tail and did not turn loose. A good fingertip tackle by him. 1:22, clock running, 2nd down and 8. Carlson with a hard 2-yard run. As the ball is now inside the 25 at the 24-yard line. Albertini in the pistol. Wide receiver, or running back to his right and left. Back to pass is Albertini. Looking for Dent. And that's going to be a flag on Marmaton Valley. And that's going to be a pass interference on Botany as he did not turn around, was face guarding Dent. Dent tried to come back to the football. So it's going to be pass interference on Marmaton Valley. Indians will take this. It'll be an automatic 1st down with 1 minute exactly left to go before halftime here. Indians are marching down the field. 10-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 10, 15. Or 15, excuse me. 1st and 10 for the Indians from the Wildcat 12-yard line. 12 yards to go here, and got a minute to do it, Mike. I think they got a couple timeouts left.
Yeah, they got a chance to get some more points on the board.
1st and 10 from the 12-yard line for the Indians. Split backfield. Albertini in the pistol. Hayden Smith to his right. Colin Carlson to his left. Fakes the handoff. He's going to keep it to the right. Cuts back to the middle. Spins away. Keeps his feet driving. And right down the goal line. And then he
fumbled out the back of the end zone.
It's going to be a safety. Marmaton Valley's going to get on. It's going to be a touchback. Yeah. Excuse me. That's going to be a touchback for Marmaton Valley. It's going to be their football as Albertini tried to stretch across the goal line as he thought he was in the end zone. As he stretched, the ball come loose, rolls through the back of the end zone, and it's going to be a touchback. So it's going to be Wildcat football at the 15-yard line.
That's about the best thing could have happened for the Marmaton Valley defense on that play.
Albertini right at the goal line. He's being whipped down, tried to reach the football out. I can't imagine the ball not crossing the plane. Either way, it went through the back of the end zone, so it's Wildcats football as the Indians still don't even have their helmets on as they're standing over here talking to coach as Marmaton Valley runs up to the line of scrimmage, going to run a play, rightfully so. So it's a touchback. As the ball was fumbled through the back of the end zone, the ball goes loose in the end zone. Dent tried to run up and get on it, but it knocked it through the back of the end zone, so it ended up being a touchback. So the Indians blow a great opportunity for a touchdown there.
Yeah, they had a chance, and that's one of those things that it's easy to sit up here and say what a guy should have done, because Adam he's going to try for that goal line no matter what. He did everything he could trying to make that touchdown. But sometimes if you tuck that in and take what you can get, of course the clock's running, and you got to understand that too.
It would have been first. It would have been 1st and goal from inside the 1-yard line. It appeared to be, with a little less than a minute left to go. So that either way, you can't.
Well, you like to see that effort. I mean, there's nothing but drive.
It was hard to tell from here. He was whipped down right at the goal line, but I just assumed that he tried to stretch the football over the goal line, which was great field awareness, and I just assumed that it came out of his hand, and apparently the refs didn't think he had possession when he crossed the goal line. Marmaton Valley football at their own 15-yard line. Elliott in the pistol. Griffith goes in motion from left to right. He's going to hand it to Griffith. Tries to get out of holding. are pushing it back as Griffith gets around the right side as he gets to try to run down, and Kenny Haney comes across the field and knocks him out of bounds, but there's a flag clear back at the 14-yard line, holding against Marmaton Valley. I believe that was on Austin O'Hara as they had him from the back. 42 seconds left to go before halftime. 26-0, Indians lead. This will be half the distance to the goal line on the holding call. For the Wildcats, it'll be second down for them when we resume play with 42 seconds left to go before halftime.
Should be 10 yards, right?
It should be 10 yards.
Or 5 yards. Looks
Well,
like they did marked off 5.
It's half the distance to the goal because 10 yards. Well, no, that shouldn't have
Yeah, it's just a 5-yard penalty for some
That was
reason.
a 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Accidental hold, I guess. That's what we'll call it.
One receiver wide to the right. In the pistol is Elliott. Now Griffith goes in motion from right to left. Here's the snap. Elliott's going to, nope, he's going to drop back to pass. He's got some time. Nice chase down. Now Wilson Smith misses him, throws it late and out of bounds. Nobody in the area.
They're going to call him for grounding, but he was outside the tackles. I don't know.
They're going to call intentional grounding on Elliott as he was well outside the pocket, but I don't know that that's a rule in high school. With 33 seconds, they stop the clock. It'll be a loss of down. And this will be half the distance to the goal. So Marmaton Valley going backwards. Indians still have a chance here. Make something happen on defense. They got them pinned back deep. As now it's going to be marched clear down to the 2-yard line. And it is a loss of down. So second and, this is a cab ride, Mike.
Ooh.
23 yards as the ball is now inside the 2. Indians see what they can do here.
Last 2 drives, Marmaton Valley's gone farther backwards than they have forward.
It's going to be hard for the stat man to keep track of.
Making it rough on me, I'm telling you.
Glad I got a good one. I think it's Griffith in the pistol this time. Going to have a little pressure. Rolls out to his left under duress, and that's a safety. Is Adam Albertini gets Griffith in the end zone.
So
that's one way to get them extra points back,
you
Mike.
betcha.
Griffith dropped back to pass. Marmaton Valley being extraordinarily aggressive down there on their own, too. You thought maybe they'd just run it on out, try to run the football, and get into halftime. Instead, Albertini gets him, and it's a safety for the Indians, and they lead 28-0 with 27 seconds left to go. Indians still with one timeout and will get possession of the football here, Mike.
Well, that's something, you know. They take the ball over off of that fumble out of the back of the end zone with the touchback, have a chance to try and do something, and went the wrong direction. Ended up St. Paul coming out of that smelling like a rose with a safety, getting some points on the board after all. So
been a tough first half
Well, it has.
for the Indians. 28, they lead 28-0, but it's been a good football game. Marmaton Valley struggle on offense, but their defense has been pretty sure tackling. Just a few breakaway big runs by Adam Albertini, and nice hard runs by Colin Carlson right up the middle, and Keaton Kennedy, who's dinged up right now. So we'll see what the Indians can do here. Now here's the old dangerous. They have to either punt it or kick it, and Albertini will be back deep, so maybe look for Marmaton Valley. Indians probably getting prepared here with a little bit of hands team up on the front row as they got to punt this thing or kick it from their own 15-yard line. I would be really surprised if they kick this ball very deep, Mike.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. They're going to punt it, but I don't think they're going to punt it anywhere near out Adam Albertini.
So basically this is a free kick. You have the option to punt the football or tee it up and kick it, but you are backed up clear back to your own 15-yard line where you do it from. So safety is really a good defensive bonus when you get a safety for the defense. Elliott set to punt the football. Albertini back deep. He going to punt it deep.
He
Spiraling
does.
punt. Bounces. Albertini loses it. Now he picks it up. Up to the 30, 35, 40. Has the running lane. There he goes. Elliott the only man to beat, and he's tackled from behind at the 20. Good return by Adam Albertini. 19 seconds left to go before halftime. First and 10 for the Indians at the Wildcat 20. He had to cut around Elliott. I couldn't tell who was still pursuing, but good pursuit from behind by the Wildcats. As a great return as the Indians hustle up the line of scrimmage. In the pistol is Albertini. Now Haney wide to the right. Indians up to the line of scrimmage. First and 10 from the 20. Back to pass. Albertini's looking. Pump fake, and he's going to be, he gets away from the sack And now he throws it across to Haney.
Back there, though.
And there's a flag as he catches it at the 2-yard line. As the clock is stopped with the 9-yard line, or with 9 seconds left to go before halftime. That has to be holding or pass interference, or could be offense, defense.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to be. It was down on the ground time I saw it.
Holding on the defense, decline that penalty.
You betcha.
Now, did he get out of bounds is a big key. Did you see if they stopped the clock?
I didn't see him stopping the clock. I saw him signaling the catch, but I didn't see him stopping the clock.
So the Indians will decline the penalty, but they can't start the clock until the chains get set. They haven't moved yet because they don't know what's going to happen here. It's going to be first and goal for the Indians. They're up to the line of scrimmage because they don't think he got out of bounds. Great passing catches. Boy, Albertini was in serious trouble. Single back set is Carlson, and it's going to be spiked by Albertini to stop the clock. So it'll be second and goal from their own 3 with 5 seconds left to go before halftime.
Yeah, going to have time to run a play here, and that was a smart play by the Indians. Get up there and get ready and stop that clock. Right now, it's their worst enemy going into halftime. Try to get some points on.
My fault for not knowing this, Mike, but I thought the Indians had a timeout left, but they do not. Neither team has a timeout. So most likely this could be the last play of the half, 5 seconds, as they either got to get a touchdown or incomplete pass quickly. And it's going to be Carlson on the dive, left-hand side, trying to get in there. No call, and they're going to call him short, and that's going to be halftime. So good defense by Marmaton Valley, keeping the Indians out before half. Halftime score, 28. Indians 0, Wildcats 28-0. Indians lead. As we'll be back with our Labette Health halftime show after this 2-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul Indian football on Hot 105.
For $115 is 1465346. 1465346. If this is your lucky ticket, you can go to the concession stand and collect your $115 for the 50-50 pie. Again, the winning raffle number is 1465346. That is 1465346.
Thanks, Keith.
You give old Keith a break last week. I heard you take a 3-minute at halftime last week.
Yeah, we didn't have nobody. Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul, where the Indians lead 28-0 here at our Labette Health halftime show. It's been a pretty good football game here the first half, Mike.
You know, the score doesn't reflect it, but it sure has. Marmaton Valley showed up to play some defense tonight for sure, and short of a couple of passes that were dropped early on, they had some open receivers that were just overthrown, and then one of the passes was dropped, but they were open and had a lot of room to run. So you catch those passes, this could be a completely different ball game, and a lot of credit to their defense. They've been playing really well, making some good tackles on St. Paul. They've contained Adam Albertini at times, and then other times he's been able to break free and be that offensive weapon that St. Paul counts on him being. But overall, a pretty good game put together by Marmaton Valley. If their offense was able to click a little bit better, I think we'd see a little bit different score. But a lot of credit to the Indians, too. Struggled a little bit in the first half, making some extra point conversions. But the good news is they were able to put 28 points on the board and doing a good job moving the ball up and down the field. They stalled out on the one drive back at their own end where they were close to their own end zone and had to punt it, and then they had the touchback that they fumbled outside of the end zone on the other end of the field. But other than that, pretty good offensive show by St. Paul, and good defense too for the most part.
You're listening to the Labette Health Halftime Show where the Indians lead 28-0 here at homecoming. You just don't ever know about homecoming. What I know most football coaches don't like homecoming week, not for the fact of homecoming. They enjoy homecoming. The kids really enjoy homecoming, but there's a lot of distractions that go along with homecoming, especially when your roster's a little bit short like the Indians. It makes practice difficult. Just 3 Indians on the sideline this week. Well, there's 4, but Keaton Kennedy injured here in the first half. We'll see if he comes out after halftime, and looked like he had a shoulder injury as he was slammed down to the turf there in the first half, late in that midway through that second quarter, on a good hard tackle by Elliott. 28-0, Indians lead during the Labette Health Halftime Show here. Our title sponsor is Farmers Bank of Kansas. Next week, the Indians will travel to Chetopa in the in-district rivalry between the Indians and Chetopa. And then they will finish off their district play with Southern Coffee County coming to town the next week before the Indians enter into the playoff picture, as long as they are one of the top 4 teams in our district.
Yeah, that's what we're looking forward to, and that's kind of what everybody's geared up for is this district play. And seeing how that's going to turn out with all those extra team in, it's really going to make it interesting to see how that shakes out. Sort of a tournament style almost by the way it gets set up, but it'll be fun to watch as we progress towards the end of the season, see where everyone lands in that the playoffs, the way they set up for the record, based on their records and wins and losses.
You want to try to finish first in your district because first team gets a home game, as how it works is in week 9, you have 6 teams in every district in Division, an 8-man Division 2, also 8-man and the rest of all the other classifications too. They're basically set up the same way. They draw up a 32-team bracket. The top 4 in each district go into the playoff bracket. The bottom 2 in each district play in week 9, but the number 6 seed will play the number 6 seed. The number 5 seed will play the 6th seed, and the 6th seed in District 1 will play the 5 seed in District 2.
You're not going to have a piece of paper to watch.
But basically, the first number 1 seed in District 1, which is what the Indians are in, if they finish first, they'll get a home game, and they'll play the 4th seed in District 2. And it works vice versa for the rest of the way down through the system. We got about 9 minutes left to go here in halftime. We're going to take a break. When we come back from this Labette Health Halftime Show, Mike will go over the first half stats for you. The score is 28-0, and we'll be back after this 2-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul Football on Hot 105.
That's what I've heard, yeah. So I'm going to renounce it.
Did you write down that stuff about the shirts, or do I need to show you that text again? They were asking me to now sign up again.
I'll announce it in here.
You want to pull it up?
Yes, you want to do it.
That's right.
Once again, that 50-50 pot raffle ticket number was 146-5346. 146-5346. If this is your ticket number, take it to the concession stand and claim your $115 prize. Also, don't forget, down at the west end of the field, the PTO is selling T-shirts tonight. The St. Paul T-shirts, youth sizes up to an adult 3X. So they're $12 to $14. So show your pride for St. Paul and help the PTO out by picking up a shirt.
Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul. You're listening to the Labette Health Halftime Show. Our title sponsor is Farmers Bank. Go visit Joe and Josh Smith for all your banking needs. Halftime score, Indians 28, Marmaton Valley 0. Indians will start with possession of the football when we start this second half. Mike, I don't see many takers on the halftime show.
No, I didn't get anybody to take me up on it. We may have to have a contest next time. We can put it out and have a drawing, see who wants to be up here on the halftime show.
Good idea. Well,
we
Mike,
can sell tickets.
You got any stats for us in that first half?
Yeah, I got some stats for you from the first half. It was a good first half. A lot of possession changes back and forth. There was a lot of scoring, mostly by Adam Albertini, and not only scoring on the ground, but Adam was also throwing the ball pretty well through 50%. He was 4 of 8 through the air for 89 yards, which is a big night passing for Adam. We haven't seen, I don't think, that big of a night in the air so far this year for St. Paul, so I'd like to see that. Most of that went to Kenny Haney, who had 3 receptions for 53 of those yards, and then 5, Keaton Kennedy had a reception for 5 yards. So a big night through the air all around for St. Paul. Albertini, in addition to the passing yardage that he had 12 carries for 119 yards. He had 3 rushing touchdowns, one of 33 yards, one 35, and then one of 26 yards. Colin Carlson had 35 yards in the first half on 8 carries with a touchdown run of 3 yards in the second quarter. Keaton Kennedy, 2 carries for 7 yards before he took that big hit by the defender and got knocked out of the game, got shaken up a little bit. Hopefully we get to see him back in the second half. But overall, good offensive stats for St. Paul. Running down the scoring for St. Paul in the first quarter, they started out the drive on their own 28, drove down the field before Adam Albertini broke loose on a 33-yard touchdown run. The extra point was good on a pass from Albertini to Haney, brought the score to 8-0. St. Paul scored again on a 38-yard run the next possession, on 38-yard run by Albertini. However, they missed the extra point. The score was 14-0. Marmaton Valley turned the ball over on a punt, and St. Paul got it back, scored again 3 possessions in a row, this time on an Albertini 26-yard run. Again, the extra point no good. Score at that point in the game was 20-0. Marmaton Valley took the ball back on their own 38-yard line. Their next possession, fumbled the ball. St. Paul able to recover it, and that's when Colin Carlson took it in as they drove down close to the goal line. Colin finished it off with a 3-yard touchdown run, but once again St. Paul missed the extra point. Score at that point was 26-0. The very next possession, Marmaton Valley took the ball on their own 37, and immediately Kenny Haney intercepted a Marmaton Valley pass and gave St. Paul the ball back, but they were unable to score, turned the ball over, punted the ball away that time. St. Paul didn't score again until late in the second quarter, where they were able to take advantage of a mistake, or several mistakes by Marmaton Valley after their own mistake where they lost the ball on the touchback. Marmaton Valley unable to do anything, got a couple penalties that really hurt them, and then where St. Paul was able to get them in the end zone for a safety, put the final 2 points on the board of the first half, brings us to our halftime score, 28-0 in favor of St. Paul.
Indians had an opportunity going into halftime there, Mike. Adam Albertini right down at the goal line, stretched out for that goal line, and a ball was fumbled through the back of the end zone. Actually, that was a possession before, but that was a big possession where the Indians was driving. Then Colin Carlson on 1st and goal from the goal line. Indians just 5 seconds left before halftime. After the safety, ran the option to the right, give it to Colin Carlson from the 2-yard line, and he just couldn't quite get into the end zone. So give credit to the Marmaton Valley defense. They held up in a couple tight spots there for to keep the Indians out of the end zone.
Yeah, been playing a pretty good job, or a pretty good defensive ball game on the half of the Wildcats, and if they come out in the second half and clean up some of those penalties for sure, but also put together a little bit of a passing game, they're right back in this.
Well, thanks for listening to the LaBette Health Halftime Show. When we come back after this 2-minute break, we'll go over everything that's going to happen next week at St. Paul to everybody get out and support volleyball team and the junior high volleyball team and everything that's going on. Junior high football wrapped up Thursday night, so they are done for the season as football is well into the last third of the season here. We're going to be back after this 2-minute break. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul at homecoming night as the teams are about to wrap up halftime here as we're going to get set for the second half. Indians lead 28-0 here. Getting ready to start the third quarter here. This week, a lot of action going on. Monday night, board meeting at Chetopa Junior High Volleyball 16 tournament at St. Paul. Mike and I is not real sure who the other teams are, but we know that St. Paul, Thayer, and Marmaton Valley is going to be there. So big volleyball at St. Paul tomorrow night. It'll be a lot of action if you want to go watch a lot of high school volleyball. They'll be using both gyms, so you'll be able to catch whatever game you want to catch. Tuesday night, high school volleyball triangular, so back-to-back nights for the high school. They go to Jayhawk Lynn. See, St. Paul varsity plays a 5, and the JV.
Monday night's junior high, Tuesday's high school.
Oh, excuse me. Monday night, the junior high, excuse me, Mike, is junior high volleyball 16 tournament. Tuesday night is high school volleyball triangular at Jayhawk Lynn, where the varsity plays at 5 and 6, and the JV plays at 5. So they'll be both high school JV and varsity volleyball at Jayhawk Lynn on Tuesday. On Thursday night, junior high volleyball at there. That's the NBL tournament. The time and the leave time and everything will be dated. It's going to have to be seeded, I believe, this week. And it looks like Three Rivers League cross country meet at Southeast. We're going to have to get an update from Mrs. Guard on our cross country runners this year before the football season's out. We'd like to bring you up to date on how the runners are doing. And Friday is in-service day for the teachers. I know it's parent-teacher conferences this week. And high school football at Chetopa. Tailgate party starts at 6, Mike.
Yep, tailgate party put on by the district. We always have a good time with that, whether it's here or down at Chetopa. And I think both towns like to come out for that, get hot dog and hamburger provided by the school, and get out there and cook them on the grill. And it's a good time for everyone, that little pregame tailgating, and show some district pride. It makes a lot of fun when you've got two teams like that, not only playing in district football against each other, but part of the same district. Makes us pretty unique, and it's a lot of fun, I think, for both schools.
St. Paul will have the first possession starting in the second half. Looks like they're going to return the football from east to west when we start here. We're going to take one more little short break. We're going to take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul. After halftime score was 28-0. Thanks for listening to our Labette Health halftime show. I want to make sure we thank all our sponsors. Such a great sponsorship. Pre-game sponsor was Richie's Pharmacy. Our halftime sponsor was Labette Health. Our post-game sponsor will be KW Trucking, and our title sponsor every week is Farmers Bank.
Also want to remind everyone, Dan, if you haven't already learned how to tune in to us on the internet, you can watch these games live on YouTube. Tune into hot1055.net on the internet, bring you to the 1055 webpage. Scroll down to the St. Paul Indian banner, click on it. That'll jump you over to the YouTube page where you can see the game live on the video and listen to the audio. You can also hear us or get live updates on your cell phone, get text messages sent to you through MyTown Alerts, a service brought to you by Farmers Bank with MyTown Media's alert system. You can also get weather, scores, and a lot of other things. You go down and select as you sign up what you want to receive, but it's a nice service to be able to provide, and I hope everyone enjoys that too. 12
minutes on the clock. We're getting set to get underway. Good sign for the Indians here. Mike is Keaton Kennedy back on the football field.
Yeah,
playing up back in the middle, standing about 33 is the Indians protecting against the short kick here to start as Griffith has the ball teed up for Marmaton Valley, and we are set to get underway. Whistle has blown. We're just waiting for Griffith, and here comes the kick. It's going to be a short kick down the middle, taken by Albertini on the bounce. 25-30. Up the middle he goes. Drugged down as he crossed the 35 up to the 38-yard line. Good field position to start the second half for the Indians. Let's see what they can do on the first drive of the second half. See if the Indians come out with a running game, a little play action, spread, a lot of option. Haven't seen
First and 10.
We've seen a spread a little bit, not much scrambling out of the spread, mostly passing. In the pistol is Albertini, set to his right is Kennedy. They're going to run the option. Albertini's going to keep it. He's going to have a nice gain on first down as he crosses midfield, crosses the 35 down to the 34-yard line. Actually, he's right to the 35-yard line. It's going to be second down and 3 for the Indians. Just underway in the third quarter.
Will be spotted at the 35-yard line, about a 6-yard gain.
Albertini in the pistol, set to his right is Kennedy, and slot right is Carlson. Carlson comes in motion, handoff to Kennedy, looking for some running room. He's going to be, late hit coming in as they blew the whistle, and no gain on the play by Kennedy. It's going to be third down and 3 for the Indians. Ball still spotted at the 35-yard line. Carlson come across the field from that slot back. I love to see him come in motion, making that lead block, but not much room to run for Kennedy.
No, it's pretty tight in there.
In the pistol again is Albertini. Slot right is Carlson. To Albertini's right is Kennedy. He's going to keep it around the right-hand side. Tries to get to the outside. Slips one man. He's going to be close to a first down as he is rid down hard, real close to a first down. Let's see where they spot the football as he is down across the 35 to about the 32-yard line as they eyeball, and they're going to give him the first down. First and 10 for the Indians. Hard running as Albertini was rode down.
First down.
They're going to have to watch as I seen a Wildcat push his weight
Yeah,
up
they
off
pushed
of
a
him.
little bit on him. But
Getting up. I'm not going to allow very much of that. It's first and 10 for the Indians. Ball spotted at the Marmaton Valley 32-yard line. Same set. Only Carlson is slot left. Albertini in the pistol. Kennedy set to his left. Here's the snap. Albertini's going to keep it off the left side this time. Not much room to go. Trying to make something happen. Dodges a tackle on another man. There he goes. 25-20, 15-10, 5 touchdown. Boy, that was all Adam Albertini there as he slipped 2 tackles to get around that left-hand side for the Indian touchdown.
32-yard touchdown run by Adam Albertini. And like you said, it was all Albertini. Once he crossed the line of scrimmage, he had to do his own work, make his own way, and he did just that.
Extra point pending. Indians' first possession of the second half ends up being a score, 34-0. Indians lead, 10-19 left to go in the third quarter. Albertini up under center, I formation. Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback. Handoff to Kennedy, right side. Tries to dodge a couple, leans towards the goal line. And he's in there. As just by a fraction got into the end zone. Good hard run by Keaton Kennedy. Extra point is good. So a 10-19 left to go in the third. Indians lead 36-0. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. Let's St. Paul football on Hot 105.
Don't forget, Monday night at 7 o'clock, there'll be a Board of Education meeting. That'll be at 7 o'clock at Chatoka.
Welcome back to Miles Field in St. Paul here at homecoming. Oh, that's one thing we didn't go over, Mike.
Oh, yeah, we didn't go over homecoming. We'll break that in on the next time out.
Next time out, well, Mike will bring you up to date on all the homecoming king and queen candidates. I can tell you this. I will break the secrecy, Mike. It was Emma Smith was the queen and Colin Carlson was the king. But we'll go over all the king and queen candidates during our next break. Murillo with the ball teed up. Oh, better kick this time. That's going to drive Marmaton Valley into the end zone. That's a touchback there. Murillo finally got his foot into one good there. It'll be first and 10 for the Wildcats from their own 15.
Yeah, Murillo finally got one behind him, or got his foot behind one and drove that back into the end zone. Wind died down here too, so I think since we started a little bit, not that it has a lot to do with it, but
about 85 degrees today for a high, so just under that at kickoff. Humid day today with rain. Sounds like a monsoon coming here, Mike.
Yeah, it sounds like we're going to get wet next few days for sure.
Wide to the left is a receiver for Marmaton Valley. In the pistol is Elliott, I believe. Motion from left to right. Elliott with the football. Comes off the right-hand side, cuts back towards the middle. Carlson hits him, but not until he leans forward for a nice 3-4-yard gain. Let's give him a gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7. Ball spotted at the 18.
I didn't go over Marmaton Valley stats for the first half, Dan, but Elliott was a big ball carrier for them. He carried the ball 10 times for 47 yards in the first half.
4 down linemen for the Indians. Gibb Carter and Murillo at the guard position. Dent and Bradshaw rounding out the defensive ends. Up under center is Griffith. He's going to inside handoff and ankle tackle. Good read in there. Who gets up off that pile? And that is Albertini. That was a nice read as the running back is for Marmaton Valley is down on the ground. As they ran a little fake pitch to the right, inside handoff to the left. Albertini stayed home and wraps him up.
Can't see who that is down.
It was the ball carrier, but I think it was a ball carrier. Not real sure who it is. We can't read the number for here, but either way, good play by Albertini. It'll be 3rd and 7. We're going to go ahead and take an injury timeout. We're going to take a 30-second injury timeout. You're to St. Paul football on Hot 105.
It's 48.
Colin Dudley on the carry for the Wildcats.
Well, welcome back to Miles Field as Dudley gets up off the field. I think he just had a cramp, Mike, for Marmaton Valley. So it'll be 3rd down and long as Marmaton Valley breaks huddle after the injury timeout. One receiver wide to the right for Marmaton Valley. In the pistol is Griffith. Elliott set behind him. Slot receiver Elliott now moves out to the right. Griffith back to pass, looking to his right, now under duress, scrambles to his left, breaks one tackle. Now Easton Dent tracks him down from behind, and he's only going to get about 2 yards. It's going to be 4th down and 5 for Marmaton Valley from their own 20.
Good pursuit by Dent there as he ran outside. Dent caught him from behind, grabbed hold of his shirt, and was able to drag him down.
It's a big 4th down and 5. See what Marmaton Valley does here on 4th and 5. Have to assume that they would punt from their own 20, but you never know. Off the sideline, Elliott looks like he's back in punt formation. You always have to watch for the fake here and stay home as Elliott is 10 yards deep. And there's a flag. And it's going to be false start on Marmaton Valley. That'll back them up 5 yards, make it 4th and 10, back them up to their own 15. So it'll be 4th down and 10 once they mark the penalty off. Back at their own 15-yard line. Albertini now stands at his own 38-yard line. Now he retreats back to the 35. Here comes the snap. High snap. Elliott finally reels it in. No pressure by the Indians. Gets a punt off. It goes towards the sideline. Going to go out of bounds. It's going to be great field position. They're going to start in Marmaton Valley territory as they try to kick away from Albertini. It's going to be down to the 32-yard line as from Marmaton Valley. So that was just a 17-yard punt for Marmaton Valley. Help you out with your stats there, Mike.
Appreciate that.
17-yard punt for Elliott, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Indians from the Marmaton Valley 32-yard line. See if the Indians can get a quick strike here. Going into the I formation, Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback, Albertini up under center. Here comes the snap. Hand off to Kennedy, right side, cuts to his left. Now back up the middle. He's going to be stood up and brought down after a short gain on the play. Forward progress as Albertini now tries to flex out a cramp in his right leg. It'll be 2-yard gain, 2nd down and 8 for the Indians as the ball is now down to the 30-yard line. 8:05 left to go in the 3rd. Indians lead 36-0. Peyton Norris, I believe, in the game for the Indians. At right tight end. I formation. Carlson at fullback. Albertini at tailback. Pitch to Kennedy. Ball's loose. And Marmaton Valley is going to get on it. and it's going to be Marmaton Valley football. It was a pitch around the left-hand side to Kennedy. Kennedy couldn't reel it in and ends up on the turf, and Marmaton Valley comes up with the football. So a turnover by the Indians gives it right back to the Wildcats. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats from their own 30-yard line.
1st and 10 from the 31-yard line in their own territory.
One receiver wide to the right, one to the left, slot receiver to the left also. Elliott in the pistol. Motion from left to right. Here comes the snap.
They moved again.
And there's a flag. False start. They've just been inundated with false start penalties tonight.
They had 9 penalties in the first half for 72 total yards, and now this in the second half, that's 2 penalties so far for 10 yards.
I bet you, maybe 25 of them yards at least was false starts. We've already had 2 in this quarter. 1st and 15 for the Wildcats, now backed up to their own 26. Same set, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Elliott in the shotgun. Motion from left to right. Elliott's going to keep it off the left-hand side. Drops his shoulder pads, trying to get some forward progress. Running hard. Brought down by a host of Indians. Dent, Carlson, Albertini. Albertini really fighting a cramp in that right calf area, it appears like. As he's going to have to come. Look like he's going to have to come out of the game. 2nd down and 12. Hayden Smith comes into the game for Albertini. 2nd and 12 from Marmaton Valley as Griffith comes in from the sideline with the play. Gain of 3 by Elliott on a good hard run. Up under center is Griffith. Split back formation. Back to pass. Looking. Got all kinds of times. Down across the middle.
Oh.
Keaton Kennedy started to break on the football, and the ball sails over his head, and luckily off the hands of Marmaton Valley. I don't know why Keaton, he misjudged that by.
Yeah, I think he thought it was going to come down, and he kept flying.
Went right over his head, so it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 12 for Marmaton Valley from their own 29-yard line. They need to get across midfield to the Indian 39 for a 1st down. 3rd and 12. 1 receiver wide to the left. In the pistol is Elliott. Motion from left to right. Elliott's going to keep it. Coming off this side. Gib Carter tries to cut him in. Does a good job. Oh, Carlson whips him down. Now that was created by Gib Carter, really closing that in, getting up the field and closing thing down.
Lost about 4 yards on that carry.
Carter really fought that block off, coming around this side. Elliott had to hesitate, and Carlson from the linebacker position got the benefit of Gib Carter really causing that.
When Carlson fired up on that play, he just flew in there and made that tackle.
4th and 15. Ball now back at the 25-yard line. Albertini backs up, still trying to stretch that right leg out. Elliott 10 yards deep. Last couple snaps have been a little high. This one's a good snap. Elliott's got all kinds of time, takes a look, now punts it. Albertini catches on the fly, up to the 30, 35, and slides down and out of bounds, as I believe he might have a cramp as he slid down and out of bounds. So. Jumps back up off the ground at midfield, just short of midfield. The ball spotted 39.5-yard line. Hayden Smith into the game for the Indians. Indians lead 36-0, 6:06 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 for the Indians. The Indians was driving their last possession, turned the football over. Carlson set to the right of Albertini in the pistol. Hands off to Carlson. Going to be wrapped up at the line. Good hard run. Drags a defender for a couple yards where there was nowhere to go. And he's going to gain 2, almost 3 yards. Let's call it 2nd down and 7 for the Indians. That was all Colin Carlson on a good hard run.
2nd down and 7 for the Indians.
Hayden Smith in the game as Kennedy out. I haven't seen Easton Dent in the backfield here yet tonight. Another different look, split back formation. Carlson right behind Albertini up under center. Going to run the option. Carlson, a lot of running room, puts his shoulder pad down, drives towards the 1st down. Looks like he's going to be about a yard short.
Well, that was a quick hitter. Carlson came through there in a hurry.
James, he thinks we have the 1st down. He's leaning that stick hard.
Move.
He's wanting it. Now he stands her back up so they can look. And there's an injured, that's Griffith, gets up slowly off the turf. See if he has to go out as he got up on his own power as he works his way to the sideline. First down, good, hard, 2 back-to-back runs by Carlson. Working that left side of the line. 5:24 left to go in the third. 36-0. Indians lead.
First down.
James was right. They got the first down.
He knew what he was doing. First and 10 for the Indians. Ball spotted just right at the 30-yard line. PTO with a lot of activities, Mike, going on. Do a lot of good for the kids.
Concession stand tonight, I think.
Albertini in the pistol. Carlson set to his right. Here comes the snap. Inside handoff again to Carlson. Drops his shoulder pads good. 3-4 yard gain on first down. As the Indians just blowing it right up the gut with Colin Carlson. Carrying the load for the Indians.
Keep that clock running, that 3 yards in a cloud of dust. We'll take that all day.
Look for that belly option here in a minute. Look for Albertini maybe to pull that out. Second down, and we're going to give him 4 yards. Second down, 6. Remember the dirty hard 4 yards too. Albertini in the pistol. Carlson set to his right again. Here's the snap. Option to the left. He pitches it late to Carlson. Carlson drops his shoulder pads. Good ankle tackle by Elliott. Elliott built close to that's not Elliott. That was number 30. Excuse me. But he got down in the legs where you needed to with Carlson. That was Louder, the sophomore, with a good tackle. It's going to be third down and 3. Ball spotted at the Marmaton Valley 23. Good methodical drive so far by the Indians. As Bradshaw comes up to the line of scrimmage, left guard is Murillo. Left tight end is Peyton Norris. Split out wide to the left is Hayden Smith. In a pistol is Albertini. To his right is Carlson. Going to run it to the right this time. Pitches late. Ball's loose on the ground. Carlson just has to dive on it, as that was a bad pitch. And the Indians are going to lose a couple yards on that one. It'll be fourth down and 6 for the Indians.
Third down and 6.
Haney comes back into the football game for Peyton. Oh, I didn't
see the flag in the back there. It was a holding call on the Indians.
Holding call on the Indians is going to back them up even more after the loss as the down marker moved. That's why I thought. So they'll replay. No, they're going to decline it. So it will be fourth down and 7. I'm not sure what I'd have done there, Mike.
No,
I'm not sure where the flag was, but
I saw it laying back there at about the 26-yard line.
So it's going to be fourth down and 6 for the Indians. Ball at the 26. Need to get across right at the 20. Split back formation. Rolls to his left is Albertini. Looking. Throws it for Haney and knocked down. Incomplete. Good coverage by Griffith. And it falls incomplete, so it'll be Marmaton Valley football first and 10 from their own 25-yard line. .335 left to go in the third. 36-0. Indians lead. Hayden Smith comes back into the game on defense. Marmaton Valley football first and 10 in their own territory. Split back formation. Inside handoff. Got some running room right up the gut. Good move. As he gets away down the left-hand sideline, he goes. Hayden Smith chasing from behind. It's going to be touchdown, Marmaton Valley.
Touchdown, Marmaton Valley.
Boy, one play. It was that quick.
And that was number 30, I believe, on the carry. Louder.
54-yard run. On
the inside handoff. Little fake pitch to the right to Elliott. Inside handoff gets Marmaton Valley. Cuts this to a 30-point lead for the Indians with 3:23 left to go here in the third. Extra point pending here. The Indians, the last couple games, haven't played a full game. We'll see if conditioning on this hot day becomes a factor. As the Indians holding Marmaton Valley pretty well in check until that play. Griffith inside handoff. Louder again. Into the end zone. Extra point is good. So with 3:23 left to go in the third, 36-8. Indians lead by 28. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Well, welcome back. Well, Marmaton Valley gets on the board, cuts into the Indians' lead. Now the Indians lead by 28, 36-8, with 3:23 left to go here in the third.
Yeah, see, the humidity, it's not really that hot, but really humid out here tonight, causing some heat issues a little bit for St. Paul. They need to get over there and get some water in and make sure they take advantage of these timeouts.
A lot of time left in this ball game. Just 3:23 left in the third. And 28-point lead for the Indians. See if the Indians can get something going on offense here. As Marmaton Valley set to kick off to the Indians. Indians, like I say, defensively had held Marmaton Valley in check pretty well on the night, but not that time. They faked it to Elliott going to the right on that pitch, and it's kind of like a little crossbuck action. I know Easton Dent was upset with himself visibly after the touchdown. Whether he misread it or missed a tackle, I'm not sure, but I could tell from that linebacker on that side he was upset with himself. Albertini back deep, stands at his own 13-yard line. Griffith was still limping a little bit on that extra point. It got dinged up a little bit earlier, but he's set to kick the ball off. Short kick down the middle. They're going to let it roll. Albertini's going to pick it up at the 20, 25, 30, and he's going to be wrapped up and brought down at the 30-yard line. First and 10 for the Indians from their own 30-yard line. Indians offense takes field, 3:18 left to go here in the third. They lead 36-8.
On the 30-yard line, first and 10.
First and 10 for the Indians. Ball spotted at their own 30. Albertini comes up under center. Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback. And here comes the snap. First down for the Indians. Hand off to Kennedy. Left side. Tries to cut to the outside. Doubles up. Now cuts back. Good. First down run as he's hit hard, but not until a nice 10-yard gain on first down for the Indians. First and 10. So good hard run. Couple good cuts by Kennedy. First and 10 for the Indians. Ball now up at midfield, spotted right at the 40-yard line.
Good to see Kennedy out there playing again after he got dinged up a little in the first half. It looks like he's feeling pretty good now.
He's got one of those rib shoulder braces. I think he's had a little issue with his left shoulder. High formation again for the Indians. Going to run the option to the right. Albertini pitches it late to Kennedy. He's got some room down the sideline, right side. Turns on the Jets. One man to beat. Cuts back. Touchdown. Keaton Kennedy. 40 yards around the right side on the option.
40-yard touchdown run.
So Indians answer that Marmaton Valley touchdown with one of their own. Good hard run by Keaton Kennedy.
St. Paul leading.
And that's all caused by that fullback, Mike, that running that belly option. Colin Carlson getting a few yards that last drive, although it ended up being a change. Marmaton Valley held them on downs. You got to respect that. You keep them linebackers at home, then that gives you the triple option threat. Albertini electing to pitch the last couple. He's still kind of, you can tell he's nursing a little cramping issue with his right leg. Extra point penny. Now the score is 42-8 with 2:49 left to go in the third.
Need to get these extra points here for sure.
In the pistol is Albertini. To his right is Kennedy and Carlson in the slots. Going to run the option to the right. Albertini is going to try to dance. Ball comes loose, and Marmaton Valley gets on it. Extra point is no good. Not a very good looking extra point set there by the Indians. So with 2:49 left to go in the third, 42-8 Indians lead. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. Let's St. Paul football on Hot 105.
Man, them extra points hurt now. It could have been out.
Now, welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul, where the Indians lead Marmaton Valley 42-8. Marmaton Valley got on the board their last possession with a good hard run around the left side. The Indians answer with a 40-yard Keaton Kennedy touchdown run off the option. Murillo set to kick the ball off to Marmaton Valley. Back deep is Elliott and Griffith, I believe. Yes, he is back there deep. Last time Murillo got it into the end zone for a touchback. See what he can do here. As the ball is teed up on the 30. Just waiting for the whistle. And we are ready. ready here. Murillo drive and kick. Takes Elliott back into the end. Oh, no, excuse me.
Nope.
Not in the end zone. He thought he was. And now he's going to run to his left. Cuts back towards the center. Easton Dent, Hayden Smith, and Austin O'Hara all in on the tackle. And it's going to be about out to the 11-yard line. Boy, I think Elliott really thought he was in the end zone. He looked back at the ref after he caught it. The ref was
he was
circling
right
his
there.
hand, said, "You better get going, son, because here they come."
The ref was right there, so there's no doubt.
Ball returned across the 10 up to the 11-yard line. So Indians great coverage on that kick. First and 10 for Marmaton Valley. And deep in their own territory. I formation. Griffith up under center. Big fullback in there at 61. And it's going to be a dive to him right up the middle. Couple Indians get down low, get him down. Not until he gains a couple yards. Heskett on the carry. It's going to be a good 3-yard gain on first down by Marmaton Valley. Second down and 7 for the Wildcats. 2:19 clock running here in the third. Indians lead 42-8. Marmaton Valley taking a lot of time in the huddle this time. Griffith now splits wide to the right. Elliott in the pistol. 2 receivers wide to the left. Here comes the snap. Motion from left to right. Elliott's going to keep it off the left side, going to the weak side. Tries to get around the outside. Albertini hits him, knocks him out of bounds, but not until he has a first down. Good 8-yard run as Bradshaw and Albertini has to chase him out of bounds, but it's going to be a first and 10 for the Wildcats. Ball now across the 20 to the 23-yard line. Up to the line of scrimmage they come. Looks like they're going Griffith up under center. Split back formation this time. Hard count. Here comes the snap. Hand off the right side this time. Going to be a short gain by Elliott. Good job by the interior line for the Indians. I see Gib Carter getting up off the pile. That's going to be, can't tell who the running back was, but it's going to be a 1-yard gain. It's going to be second down and 9. I guess it was Elliott on the carry. He's got to be getting wore out too, Mike. A lot of carries on the night.
16 carries on the night for Elliott.
Second down and 9, under a minute 23 left to go in the third. In the pistol is Elliott. 1 receiver wide to the left. Griffith goes in motion from left to right. Here comes the option. Elliott's going to keep it off the left side. Tries to cut up the middle, and he stood up by Albertini and Gib Carter. Good job. That's a load to bring down for Adam Albertini. And Gib Carter comes in and helps him. It's going to be third down and 6 for the Wildcats as this third quarter winds down under a minute to go. Ball now across the 25 up to the 27-yard line. Griffith taking a long time getting a play in. Marmaton Valley going to have to hustle up here. 42, 41, 40 seconds left to go in the third. 2 receivers wide to the left. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Now it's going to be a timeout by Marmaton Valley. I can kind of see that coming.
Yeah.
Long time. So with that timeout, we'll take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105.
St. Paul leading. Don't forget there'll be a high school volleyball triangular at Jayhawk Lynn at 5 o'clock. St. Paul varsity plays at 5, 6, and then the junior varsity plays at 5 o'clock as well.
Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul. Dan Bill alongside Mike McCracken. Mike, we got a little time here. You want to go over the homecoming king and queen?
Yeah, we'll run through that real quickly. You announced already the homecoming queen this year is Emma Smith. She was escorted by the homecoming king, Colin Carlson. The other candidates, Alexandria Petty, her escort was Keaton Kennedy, and Sydney McCracken, escorted by Kenny Haney.
That happened before the game started, so got homecoming out of the way. Exciting night for the girls and boys here at St. Paul. In the pistol is Griffith. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left coming out of the Marmaton Valley timeout. Third down, and boy, he looked like he was in
thought he
motion.
moved
Back to
too.
pass, pump fake, going to go down the right sideline. Kennedy right there with him, knocks it down. It was intended for Elliott. It's going to be 4th down and 7 as the ball falls incomplete.
Good coverage by Kennedy. Marmaton Valley has yet to complete a pass tonight. That's the 10th attempt by Elliott and 1 attempt by Griffith. That's 11 passes they've thrown and not been able to make a completion yet.
4th and 7 from their own 27. With 25 seconds left to go here in the third. Back in punt formation is Elliott. Hayden Smith needs to back up a little bit more. Hayden Smith back deep to return the ball. Adam Albertini out of the game at the moment. It's a fake by Marmaton Valley. Cuts back. He's going to be ripped down and short of the first down. Colin Carlson sniffed that fake out. And he's going to be about 1.5 yards short of the first down. It's a great field position. Good stay home. The Indians haven't rushed very many punts this year. So they stayed home that time. Carlson wraps up the inside handoff. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Indians at the Marmaton Valley 32-yard line.
Carlson wasn't fooled a bit on that fake. He was right there.
1st and 10 for the Indians. Coach Watcher getting a lot of subs in the game now. For the Indians. Adam Albertini up under center. Carlson at fullback. Kennedy at tailback. Kennedy off the right-hand side. Cuts back to the middle. Going to have a nice gain on 1st down. Well, I thought he was getting subs in. They started to come in, then they come back out. And it's going to be a nice 4-yard gain on 1st down. I think Coach Watrick thought that if the Indians could score again, that would be the ball game, but it won't.
No.
And that's going to be the end of the third quarter. End of the third quarter score. Indians 42, Marmaton Valley 8. We'll be back after this 1-minute timeout. Here in the St. Paul football on Hot 105.
That is the end of the third quarter. St. Paul leading 42-8 over the Marmaton Valley Wildcats.
Welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul, where the Indians lead after 3, 42-8, and Indians will have 2nd down and 6 when they start this 4th quarter up.
Yeah, Coach Watrick thought that might be the end because the extra points, if St. Paul had been able to convert on all those extra points they'd missed, it would be. So,
how many have we made, Mike? Just one?
And yep, just one, I think. Let me look real quick. But made the very first one, and I don't think we've made one since then. I take that back. The first score of the second half out of the Albertini run, they did make that extra point, but it's only 2 out of all the touchdowns they've made that they were able to convert on.
2 out of 5 is not very good odds.
No, you need those points.
2 out of 6, excuse me. I formation. Carlson fullback, Kennedy at tailback, Albertini up at center. Pitch to Kennedy around the right-hand side. Tries to break a tackle, breaks one, down to 20, 8-15, goes inside, hit hard, driving hard, and good hard run by Keith Kennedy down to the 12-yard line for the Indians.
Yeah, good run by Kennedy. That's trying to do the quick math here. It's about a 22-yard run, it looks like.
1st and 10 for the Indians. Ball at the Marmaton Valley 12-yard line. With just underway here in the fourth quarter, 11:50 left to go in the ball game. Indians lead 42-8. I formation again. Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback, Albertini up under center. Hand off to Colin Carlson. Hit at the line of scrimmage, but he's going to have a nice 2-3 yard gain as he falls forward inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and let's call it 7.
2nd down and 7 for the Indians.
St. Paul knocking on the door again. They're trying to put this away. Not going to be able to on this drive.
Albertini comes in from the sideline. Coach Watrick with the play. 2nd down and 6. Ball at the Marmaton Valley 8-yard line. Indians can get a 1st down or right at the 2-yard line. I formation. Hand off to Kennedy. Right side, right up the middle. Touchdown. Good hard run by Keaton Kennedy off the right-hand side of the line. 8-yard touchdown run for Kennedy. Takes the score up to 48-8. Indians up by 40 with 11:10 left to go in the ball game.
Nice to see that. Got all three of the running backs now with a score on the night. Kennedy a touchdown, Carlson with a touchdown, and then Albertini got several. So good job by the Indians spreading that around and everybody getting a chance to get some points on the board.
Extra point pending here. Ball spotted as Kennedy comes out of the ball game after the 8-yard touchdown run. It's going to be Adam Albertini and the pistol. To his right, Hayden Smith. To his left is Colin Carlson. Here's the snap. Back to pass. Looking down the middle. Throws it batted down at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. Extra point is no good. So with 11:10 left to go in the game, Indians 48, Marmaton Valley 8. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Well, welcome back to Miles Field here in St. Paul. 11:10 left to go in the game. Indians score on a Keaton Kennedy 8-yard run. They lead 48-8. Extra long break here after the touchdown. Everybody getting watered up. A warm night here in St. Paul.
Taking advantage of that time on both sides of the field. That's probably what they need to do.
Lucky to get these Friday night football games in. And there's a lot of rain in the forecast for the next 3 or 4 days.
That's right. Wind picked up pretty good now. Flag's sticking out there pretty good. So
Murillo has the ball teed up. Back deep is Griffin Elliott. As the white hat explaining to Griffith what is a touchback and what isn't.
That's handy information.
I really thought if any of your body was in the end zone, I thought of your foot, but I think it may be the football now. I think maybe the football has to be in the end zone before it's touchback. But to clarify that, Murillo's short kick this time.
It'll be offsides, I think.
Against Marmaton Valley. Somebody was.
You don't see that very often.
Not very often on the receiving team. Must have been lined up past the 40 as now the Indians, this is rare that you see them get to go up 5 yards to kick. But that was blown dead almost instantly right when he kicked the ball, so they must have
been standing there watching
across the 40 as Murillo has the ball teed up again now at the 35-yard line. See if he can get this into the end zone. It was a short kick. I don't know if it was intentional or not, or if he just missed it. Drive and kick this time, bounces out of bounds. He's going to give that 5 yards right back. He's going to really have her.
Try it again.
He's going to have his legs stretched out good here in a minute, as they're not going to take it where the ball went out of bounds because it went out of bounds at the 8. So they'll back up to the original 30-yard line and kick again. Let's see, Mike. No volleyball tomorrow for you, huh?
No volleyball tomorrow. That's first Saturday in a while, I think.
I bet you're going to head over and watch the Gorillas try to.
Gorillas got a big one tomorrow playing the Bearcats. I think it's number 8. The Gorillas number 8, and the Bearcats number 16. So
boy, the Gorillas come off of a barn burner last week.
They did, yeah.
They pulled it out, but barely against Linwood, right? No
Lindenwood, yeah, that's
Lindenwood,
right.
Yeah, Lindenwood. Murillo has the ball teed up again. Back deep is Griffin Elliott. Here comes the kick. Drive and kick. Going to be taken. Returnable at the 5 by Griffith. Up to the 10. To the 15. Left-hand return. Tries to get around Smith. Missed the tackle. Now back to the right goes Griffith. He's got some running room over there. Now back to the middle of the football field. He's going to be wrapped up. Good run by Griffith up across the 30 to the 33-yard line.
You know what I like to see on that return, though, Dan, was the way the Indians stayed in their lanes. Griffith come to the left side, and everybody on this side of the field pursued him like they should. When he reversed field, the Indians were still on their own side, on the opposite side of the field, so they were right there to shut him off, not let him break that open.
Good view for us, Mike, right in front of us. Marmaton Valley is going to have the ball going from right to the left on their own side of the football field at their own 34-yard line. Wilson Smith in at nose guard. Gib Carter left defensive end. Bradshaw right defensive end. I formation. Big number 61 to fullback. Elliott the tailback. Here comes the snap by Griffith. Long, hard count. No, he's going to be back to pass on the play action. Going for Elliott.
Look at that.
Has the big fullback behind everybody.
Look at that.
And it's going to be a touchdown.
Boy,
Holy
that
smokes.
was a surprise play. I guarantee you everybody on the defense was shocked by that one.
How did Easton Dent and Hayden Smith let Heskett behind both of them?
Wow.
And it's a touchdown on a fullback fake dive and goes right back to him down the middle of the football field. First completion of the night for a touchdown.
47-yard touchdown pass to Heskett.
Brings the score of 48-14. St. Paul leading the Wildcats.
48-14, Marmaton Valley answer the Indians' touchdown. Split back formation. Griffith up under center. Going to pitch it to Elliott. Going to his right. He's going to lean towards the end zone. No good. Short. Indians hold him out, but 47-yard pass and catch from Griffith to the big fullback Heskett for the Marmaton Valley touchdown. 10:46 left to go in the game. Indians lead 48-14. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. This is St. Paul football on Hot 105.
That's what I'd have done. Caught him napping for sure. Everybody was shocked.
Welcome back to Miles Field here at St. Paul. Marmaton Valley with their second score of the ball game. 48-14 is now the score. Indians answered the last time Marmaton Valley scored. Let's see if they can again.
Big pass there, number 61, Big Heskett. Definitely not the fastest guy on the field, but he was fast enough that time. Put some points on the board.
Albertini back deep as the Indians scrunch up to the line looking for a possible onside kick. Griffith waiting for the whistle from the side judge. As all the officials are set, and here it comes. It's going to be a squib kick. It's going to be an onside kick. It's going to be offsides against Marmaton Valley as Dent comes up and jumps on the football. They must have seen something on film because that bunch set all night, the Indians have been honoring it by scrunching everybody together, and then when Marmaton Valley spreads out, they spread out. That time Marmaton Valley did not spread out. But they got ahead of Griffith, so it's going to back him up 5 yards. So he's going to kick from his own 25 now. 10:46 left to go in the game. 48-14. Indians lead over Marmaton Valley. Same set. Griffith looking again. See if they onside kick again. Yep, a little short kick, and it heads towards the 20. Albertini picks it up off the ground. Down the sideline, it goes left side, out of bounds, about the 33-yard line. First and 10 for the Indians from their own 33. First and 10 for the Indians from their own 33. 10:43 left to go in the game. 48-14. Indians lead. Albertini stands at the sideline. Getting the play from Coach Wadrick.
They have to step it up, boys.
Indians break huddle. Up to the line of scrimmage they come. Carlson at fullback. Kennedy at tailback. Albertini up under center. Kennedy off the left-hand side of the line. Going to be cut down at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go. Carlson right there in front of him, too, trying to get a lead block. He's going to gain nothing on that play. It's going to be second down and 10. Coach Wadrick just trying to run some clock here and get out of here. It's 48-14, they lead. 10:20 left to go in the ball game. Second and 10, ball spotted at the 32-yard line. I formation. Albertini's going to be back to pass off the play action. He's going to go deep across the middle, picked off by Griffith, and he's still on his feet as he's being chased. Down the left sideline, he's going to be out of bounds after he crosses midfield to the 38-yard line.
We'll get into St. Paul territory.
So momentum now as there is a flag back at the 26-yard line of Marmaton Valley. Holt
Penalty on the play. That'll be against
block in the
Marmaton Valley.
back. It would be after the interception, I believe, so that's going to push him back. Flag was thrown at the 26, so after the interception, a block in the back by the defense as Adam Albertini throws a pick on the night. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Marmaton Valley at their own 16-yard line.
Each team with an interception tonight. Haney had one in the first half for St. Paul.
After the interception.
So that negates a nice interception return up. It was going to be in the Indians' territory as Griffith was forced out of bounds by Albertini after it crossed midfield. Wide to the left, one receiver. Griffith in the pistol. Elliott set. No, it's not Elliott. I think it's Louder behind him. Yeah. We're going to run the option to the left, stringing it out. Ball's loose on the ground. Ball's loose again.
St. Paul's got it.
Oh, Keaton Kennedy. Yeah, he
Yep.
did get it
Yep.
inbound. I didn't know if they was going to get
I didn't either after I thought about it, but
he
they
had
did.
it about 1 yard in, rolled out of bounds, and apparently he had the football long enough. The Indians recover the football off of the option. That was strung out good by the Indian defense. Good, hard hit, put on the running back, knocked the ball loose. Keaton Kennedy dove on it at the 11-yard line, so Albertini has another chance to redeem himself after throwing the pick.
Big opportunity here for St. Paul to get some points back after the turnover.
48-14, Indians lead, 9:50 left to go in the game.
2 turnovers on the night for Marmaton Valley, just 1 for St. Paul.
In the eye, Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback, Albertini up under center. Here comes the snap. 1st and 10 from the 11. Carlson, right-hand side. Oh, no, excuse me. Kennedy, and he's going to be no gain off the option. Boy, Carlson had all kinds of room.
I should have give that one.
That was coming right towards me, too. I don't know how I missed that. I just thought for sure he'd give it to Carlson because he had all kinds of room off the right-hand side of the line. So Albertini missed that read. He slaps himself in the helmet in disgust. 2nd down and 11 after Kennedy loses a yard. 9:25 left to go in the game. I formation. Carlson at fullback, Kennedy at tailback, Albertini up under center. And this time he gives it to Carlson, pulling his way across the 10, down to the 7-yard line for a gain of 5 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 6 as the ball now spotted at the 6.
That's 15 carries on the night for Carlson. Not a lot of yards, only 54 yards, but they've been all hard-fought, hard-earned yards. He's not the big playmaker, but he's always good for 3, 4, 5, 6 yards every carry.
3rd down, and let's call it 5. Ball spotted at 6. Need to get right at the 1-yard line for 1st down. In the pistol is Albertini. To his right is Kennedy. To his left is Carlson. He's going to keep it off the right side. Cuts up the middle towards the goal line. Stretches. Touchdown.
On the carry, get the touchdown.
Indians. So the Indians, after the Albertini interception,
54-14.
cause a fumble. Kennedy gets on it, and the Indians turn that in 2 points. 54-14, the Indians lead by 40 with 8:36 left to go in the game. Here's another extra point, Mike.
Yep, there again, those extra points, even if they get these, not going to put them over the edge. But
The Indians have left 10 points on the field by missing 5 extra points tonight. I formation. Carlson, right side, bowls his way into the end zone. He wasn't going to be denied. Extra point is good, 56-14. Indians lead by 42 with 8:36 left to go in the game. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105.
Don't forget, next Friday night, St. Paul will travel to Chautauqua for high school football, varsity football. USD 505 tailgate party will be at 6 o'clock. There'll be free sandwiches and chips for anybody to attend. Hot dogs and hamburgers. That'll begin at 6 p.m. before the game.
Welcome back to Miles Field in St. Paul, and homecoming here where the Indians lead big, 56-14 over Marmaton Valley with 8:36 left to go in this football game.
yeah, hard-fought football game by both teams. St. Paul just hadn't been able to put it away due to the inability to make their extra points. On the other hand, Marmaton Valley not giving up, coming in here in the second half, putting some points on the board, trying to fight their way back into this game. But they've been struggling with some penalties and turnovers that have really hampered their efforts here in the second half.
Indians try to stay undefeated in district play here with just 2 games left. Chautauqua and Marmaton Valley. They have to travel to Chautauqua next week, face St. Paul alumni Coach Bradshaw running the helm at Chautauqua, and then finish off with Southern Coffee County coming to town, and Southern Coffee County is a very good football team. Murillo with the ball teed up. High, driving kick, going to be returnable at the 2. Taken by Elliott. Return left. Across the 15, up to the 20. Hayden Smith, he cuts back. He's going to be hit by Smith and Kennedy, I believe. As Kennedy's slow to get up again, and it's going to be, he returns it up to the 20. First and 10 for Marmaton Valley. Just across the 20, ball spotted 20.5-yard line. First and 10 for Marmaton Valley. Wilson Smith in at nose guard. Gibb Carter, left defensive end. Bradshaw, right defensive end. Easton Dent and Colin Carlson are the linebackers. In the pistol is Griffith. Motion, slot left to right, is Elliott. They're going to fake it. Inside handoff to Elliott, the opposite direction. Albertini rolls him out of bounds, but not until a nice 8-yard gain. Marmaton Valley's had a lot of success with that play.
Yep.
Be second down and 2 for Marmaton Valley. Now the ball up at the 28.5-yard line.
18 carries on the night for Elliott, 72 yards.
He has been their workhorse. Chase Bradshaw, right defensive end. Colin Carlson at left linebacker. Kenny Haney at the cornerback on the left side. Hayden Smith at the right cornerback. Easton Dent, right linebacker. And Albertini playing the monster and or the free safety, and this is going to be a timeout. Marmaton Valley. So with that, we'll go ahead and take another 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105. Oh, welcome back to Miles Field, boy. Our sponsors are getting their money's worth tonight.
Boy, they are. A lot of breaks in the action, but they well needed there in the second half for the Indians.
8:20 left to go in the game. 56-14. Indians lead. Second down and 2. Marmaton Valley when they come out of this timeout. Ball spotted at the 28.5-yard line. In the pistol is Griffith. 2 receivers wide to the right. Elliott goes from slot right to slot left. Here comes the snap. He's going to roll to his right, looking to pass. Going to throw it deep. He's got a man down the sideline. Haney picks it off. Second interception on the night by Kenny Haney. He's trying to get wrestled down. They finally blow it dead. As the intended receiver had him by the shirt tail. Couldn't bring Haney down. Haney picks his second football of the night off.
That's 2 tonight for Haney.
Back at our own 19-yard line. Good pass coverage by Haney as number 42 was streaking down the sideline. That was Botany, the junior.
Much better coverage here in the second half for St. Paul on those passes other than the one to the big number 61 earlier.
Haney comes out of the game. Hayden Smith in the game as the Indians take the field for offense as they need another player out there. As Murillo now comes into the game. First and 10 for the Indians. Going to have to hustle up here. Is I think the Indians are going to call time.
They're going to call a timeout.
No time runs, so might as well call one now. 8:10 left to go in the game. I'm not why Coach Watry.
I think he thought the clock was running. He didn't look up there till just now. Then he called it.
The interception, first and 10 for the Indians after this timeout. We'll go ahead and stay here, Mike. Stick around after the game for our KW Trucking post-game show. Probably be a little bit limited edition as Mike going down the stretch here, give you a few stats along the way.
Well, we got a lot of possessions here, and I was going to count down and try to get them counted up here, but my sheet's full. We'll go back and forth on the possessions for sure.
Be first and 10 for the Indians off the Kenny Haney second interception of the night at their own 19-yard line. 8:10 left to go in the game. 56-14, Indians lead. A lot of playing time for all the kids on the sideline. Indians pretty shallow on the depth chart again this week,
Yeah, a little bit light on the substitutions there.
Nagging shoulder injury for Keaton Kennedy. He's been toughing his way through it as much as he can, on and off throughout the game. Adam Albertini fighting a few cramps. 1st and 10 for the Indians. Ball spot at their own 19. Split back formation. Albertini up under center. Here comes the snap. Carlson off. Nope, excuse me. Albertini keeps it. Up the middle he goes. Good, nice fake as he runs hard up the right-hand side. He's going to gain 7 yards on the play. It's going to be, let's give him 8. 2nd down and 2. Good fake. Faking it to Carlson on that fullback dive off the left side and kept it around the right side. Went through the B gap. Had some nice yards. I formation. Carlson a fullback. Smith at tailback. Option to the right. Carlson's going to keep it. Fighting his way forward for a first down.
Got the first down.
Good hard run by Colin Carlson. As he bulls his way for a first down. 1st and 10 as Peyton Norris and Austin O'Hara comes in the game for the Indians. Smith and Murillo come out.
Get the ball to the 27-yard line. That'll be good for St. Paul.
That'll be the ball across the 30 up to the 31-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Indians from the 31. 7:30 left to go here in the ball game. Indians lead 56-14 as Haney comes into the game. As a little mix-up here with personnel again. The Indians are going to have to hustle up. 1st and 10 for the Indians. As the count is on, they have time. I formation. Haney pitches it to Albertini on a late pitch. Gets out of bounds on the left side. He's going to gain 3 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Ball spotted at the 33, their own 33. Haney comes in from the sideline with the play. 7:06 left to go in the game. 56-14, Indians lead. 2nd down and 7. Haney up under center. Carlson at fullback. Albertini at tailback. Pitch to Albertini, right side. Got a block. Down the sideline he goes. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Ball game, Indians. Couldn't see no cramps on that run.
Nope, it didn't look cramped up there for sure.
You could tell Albertini wanted to finish this game off, and he did down that right side. The Indians ran that option to the right side. Had a lot of running room. Down the sideline he went, and a pad or more yards for Albertini, and that is the ball game. Indians win 62-14 with 6:56 left to go on the clock. Good job by the Indians to finish this game off and stay undefeated in district play. We'll be back with our KW Trucking postgame show after this 1-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul football on Hot 105.